Here's what we're doing. All right, lock in. Here it is. I'm gonna go through all of my old reviews that I've done on Letterboxd. Um, Letterboxd, if you don't know, is a movie diary app and a social media that I started using in April of 2016 to try and log movies that I was watching. And then I stopped in August of 2018 and did not log anymore after that. And for, I think it looks like 4 years or 3.5, I decided in December of 21 that I was going to log every movie I watched, every single one. And I have been faithful to that for the last 2 years. I have logged every single movie that I have ever watched for the last 2 years. So I thought it'd be fun to do a year-end review every year of all the movies I watched in a year, and just do a year-end review and talk about each of the films I've watched. So since I started 2 years ago and I haven't done this first stream will be January of 22 onward. So there you go. So yeah, let's do. Goodness gracious, there's a lot. I'm sorry. You'll see a trend where I watched 4 or 5 movies a month, 4 or 5, 5, maybe 6, getting crazy, watching 6 movies a month. And then you'll see a shift, I think, where I kind of went, somebody trying to break into my house. I went a little crazy and I started watching 10, 15, 20 movies a month. And I haven't broken that trend since. So here we go. All right. So I don't know why, but the first movie I watched in January of 22 was Spencer. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I chose that movie. I don't know if I actually watched 3 movies in one day or if I just logged them all. 4 movies in one. I definitely didn't watch all 4 of these in the same day. So I just didn't change the date that I logged them. This is probably the exact day I got Letterboxd again. And I just decided to log all the movies I'd seen that year. So went and I saw Spencer. And let's see. I definitely wrote, Kristen Stewart's best performance of her career, wrapped in an extremely uninteresting movie. There's a total of 3 engaging scenes. And I stand by that review. It was incredibly cool to watch Kristen Stewart give a really good performance, and she did a great job. It was one of the most boring movies I've ever seen. So I'm standing by that review, 2 stars. And I will be changing these reviews if they've changed, if I felt that I have grown in fondness or hatred of a movie. I will be changing these reviews for the final time. They can no longer be changed after this stream. They're my final review until I obviously watch the movie again, I guess. And then I watched West Side Story, Steven Spielberg's West Side Story that was in theaters and that at that time. And I gave it a 2.5. And I think I was high or something. This movie is pretty good. Seriously, someone trying to break in my house? What's going on? Reveal yourself. Okay. How about the West Side Story was pretty good. I am not a fan of West Side Story at all. I don't like it very much. But it was just good. It was really good Spielberg. It was shot extremely well. I don't like the Romeo and Juliet. I don't like that it's Romeo and Juliet. I think that's basically it. I know what Romeo and Juliet is. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to put Romeo and Juliet in modern times. She kills that dude kills her brother and then she immediately sleeps with him. It didn't make any sense in my head, but honestly, I think I have to bump it up to a 3.5. That's it. Changing that one. I was wrong. I was a little mid on the Romeo and Juliet stuff, but it's too well made to be anything less than a 3.5. And then I rewatched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. 5-star movie. I don't think I have anything to say about that. 5-star movie. let's see what I did say about it. One of the best animated films of all time, and absolutely the best Spider-Man film of all time. Stand by that. There is not a better Spider-Man film, period, than Into the Spider-Verse. Dune. This was definitely not a first watch. This was a rewatch that I guess I wasn't marking at the time. Yeah, I hadn't marked any at the time yet, but this was a rewatch. I love Dune so much. I love Dune so much. It is my favorite book franchise. Why did I open it in a new tab? A masterpiece of visuals and audio. The story could benefit from a longer runtime. The only reason it's 4.5 stars, the only reason that it's 4.5 stars is because I want it to be longer. I want more. I want more content. I want more out of this. Also, Ryan gives every movie that I give a 5-star, he gives a 3. Just without fail. Any movie that is a 5-star, Ryan gives a 3. So just keep that in mind. Also, I bought an 11.1.4 surround system just to get a piece of what it was like to hear this in the theater. Dune Agenda. Yeah, I really did. I saw this movie in a theater, and then I was like, it's time to blow all my money on a sound system. It's time to blow everything I've ever made on an 11.1.4 surround system. And it was worth it. Dune, you're going to see this repeated quite a bit. French Dispatch was not very good. It was Wes Anderson times 1,000, and it was too much. Something that Asteroid City and the Henry Sugar did not, his two newest works did not suffer from being, it just felt too much. Oh, this is funny because I got tipsy in the middle. The most Wes Anderson film was very bad. I'm only halfway through and I'm going to bed because I'm drunk on Chili's margaritas. We'll update when awake and sober. Yeah, this is Anderson cranked to 11. If you go into this not knowing the cast list, yeah, there so many people show up in this movie. It would be incredibly funny if you just watched it without knowing who is in this movie and just watching every celebrity in Hollywood show up. But other than that, it is not very engaging. I think it even deserves... Ooh, I cut out for a second. I think it even might deserve to move down. I mean, I haven't seen it since. I haven't seen it in 2 years. I'm going to mark it down. Mark it down half a star because it just was not good. His next 2 films were incredible, but this one was just not great. Juice and the Black Messiah. This was great. I knew nothing about this story before I watched this movie, and I did a little deep dive afterwards. It is heartbreaking. Very good movie, though. Last Night in Soho. This is where I was like, oh, Wes Anderson and Edgar Wright are mid now? This is unfortunate. I'm very sad about this. The Last Night in Soho was shot so incredibly well. It was one of the best looking movies in the first hour. The first hour, you can't tell. I mean, it's shot on film, I'm pretty sure. But even recent films in the last 10, 15 years that have been shot on film kind of just look digital. But something that they did, something probably with the scanning process, I have no idea what they did, but something about this looks like it was shot in the 90s. It looks like a 90s transfer that they dug up a film from the 90s and that was scanned, they rescanned it, and here it is now. Because even like movies that are shot nowadays, they don't look like movies that were shot in the 90s and 80s and 70s look. They just don't, even though they're shot on some of the same film stocks, the same cameras, they just don't look the same. But somehow this film, the first like hour or so, accomplished that look, and then at some point it switched to digital, and it just did not look as good. Death on the Nile was garbage. Death on the Nile, I hated this movie. This was really bad to the point where I'm going to knock it down. I'm going to knock it down at least a half a star. That was really bad. Did not like this movie at all. The style, like the first one, is really charming, but the substance is still meh. I really like the character of Hercule Poirot and Kenneth Branagh playing him. It's just too bad that the movies around the character are not as enjoyable to watch as him. And then I can't wait for Knives Out 2. Yeah, this movie was garbage. The first one was fine. The first one was like a solid 3. This one was terrible. There's no murder. There's no murder in this movie until an hour and a half, 90 minutes into the film, is when the first death takes place. Also, Gal Gadot is one of the worst actresses I've ever. But anyway, The Batman, and then we followed it up. One of the worst films I've seen. Followed up with The Batman. This movie is incredible. I gave it a 4.5 on my first watch. I think because I wasn't a huge fan of the third act. I liked it more than most people, but I wasn't the biggest fan of the third act. Let's see what I said about it. First viewing. Finally a fully realized Gotham, finally a good old detective noir, and finally a Batman film. This is everything I've ever wanted in a Batman movie. And it was. Yeah, I definitely moved it up to a 5-star on a further viewing. Second viewing, I used to put my reviews into the same review when I would watch a movie again. When I would watch a movie again, I would just go back and add another review on top of it. But anyway, the introduction of Batman in this is phenomenal. And it was showing that the criminals in Gotham are literally afraid of the dark. That is incredible. The shots of just the criminal turning and seeing a pitch black abyss of an alleyway, and then the criminal knowing what could possibly be down that alleyway and being too scared to go, and he turns to run the other way, is just a perfect way to sum up how Batman makes Gotham criminals feel. It's just, yeah. I mean, it is just a classic. The way, yeah, firing on all cylinders, acting, direction, cinematography, and the production design, art direction, all of it is in a completely immersive experience. There's no break. There's no seam. There are no seams. It is like it. The only other film I've seen achieve like this kind of like, I don't know, this kind of like synergy with the art direction and art design is probably like Alien or Aliens. Like those are fully realized immersive worlds, and with no seams, they never break. I don't know. Even Star Wars, you're like, you watch it and you're like, yeah, they're in a desert. That's on Earth. I mean, when you watch The Dark Knight, you're like, that's Chicago. I've seen Chicago before. They're in Chicago. This Gotham doesn't look like a Gotham that exists in real world, in the real world. It just looks like a comic book gothic dark city, and it's just a completely, fully immersive experience. This also sounds incredible on my sound system, just in case you're wondering. And then in one day, Rachel and I decided to watch a bunch of animal movies. First Cow, Lamb, Pig. What did I say about First Cow? Boring, but in a cute way. Yeah. We actually watched all these on the same day. We just watched this. We started this after midnight. Funny. Yeah, I was like, why don't we watch all of the animal movies on my list? Because for some reason there's a bunch of animal movies. This one's really cute. This was filmed really well. I liked this. Lamb was really dumb. I'm gonna have to dock Lamb some points because it was bad. It was not good. This movie has no resolution. This movie is the conflict is just stupid. I get it. It's like Nordic myth, and that's cool. But the end of the movie is just her staring into the camera, sad. And then that's the end of the movie. And it's like, how? That's not a resolution. She didn't learn anything. Nothing happened. She's just sad at the end. Anyway, I think I pitched another fourth act. Yeah. A fourth chapter where Maria hunts down the goat daddy. You just have to see it to understand what I'm talking about. Kicks his ass and takes the child back. But honestly, we made this a 10 out of 10. You just made a movie with a human goat hybrid. That happens in this movie. Human goat hybrid monsters. Commit to the bit and end this with a big take my life back fight scene. Stop ending your art house films with metaphors. I still agree with that. Imagine if at the end of Aliens, the alien queen kills and eats Newt, and then Ripley just stares into the camera and goes, I mean, that kind of would actually go kind of hard, but it does not go hard in this movie. So I'm gonna dock it. I'm gonna dock it a half. This movie sucked. It is not a 2.5 star movie. These are my final reviews. I can never change these again. Never change them. All right. Pig. This was great. I thought this was just going to be a stupid John Wick ripoff. It is not. It starts out as such, but then they subvert it, and it's pretty awesome. You should watch Pig. That's a pretty good movie. And then The Nice Guys this is a 5-star film. I am pushing that up. I probably rated it higher or differently later on because I watched this like 3 times in the last 2 years, but this is a 5-star film. Stop. Why are there so many noises? I decided to stream and my whole house tries to fall down. Yeah, this is a 5-star movie. This is one of the best comedies of the last couple years. I don't know why all good comedies have guys in the title. The Other Guys, The Nice Guys, that other one that I can't think of. Yeah, this is very good. What did I say about it? I watched this again after watching 3 downer A24 movies in a row, funniest comedy in years. It's true. I watched these 3 A24s and then I was like, I have to watch something funny. This was one of the funniest comedies I've seen in a very long time. Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe as a comedic duo. It works so well. Willy's Wonderland is a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff movie. It was a movie Nick Cage did because he cannot pay his bills. I watched this at 1 a.m. with a group of friends after a pub crawl. I don't remember this event. If that has anything to tell you about how that happened. This movie is hilarious in a way a Minion meme is hilarious if shared in the right context. It's not very funny by itself, but it is pretty funny after you've done a pub crawl with your friends and it's 1 a.m. Pretty funny movie. 2 stars though. The Vavitch. What did I say? The Vavitch. It should be like this in the thing. This movie is pretty good. This movie's pretty good. This is when I started watching what I called the Eggers verse. What's his name? Robert Eggers? Am I crazy? Am I crazy? What's his name? Why is it so far down? Where's the cast and crew? Robert Eggers. Yeah, okay. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. I missed this when it came out, and I'm very sad I did because this movie rules. This movie's so good. Yeah, and the child acting, there are kids in this movie that acted better than I've ever seen a child act in my life. And this movie is hilarious. It is out of context, very funny. Things kept happening in this movie that were some of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's played for serious, and I can still appreciate the seriousness of it, but some of it is incredibly funny. Like, yeah, the "What ails thee, Black Phillip," when the kid looks at a goat. There's a little goat just center framed, and then a kid's head comes in from out of frame and just whispers in the goat's ear, "What ails thee, Black Phillip?" One of the funniest things I've ever seen. You just have to see it. You just have to see it to understand what I'm saying. But I was doubled over laughing. There are moments that could come across as creepy or goofy, depending on what mood you're in. And this would be a great movie to show a friend with zero context. Let's see what's next. This is a good movie. I'm not going to bump it up. I think 4 is solid. I do like this movie a lot though. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This movie was a little bit of a disappointment. Not very good. Pretty funny. I liked the meta. Yeah, I remember this. I liked the meta humor, and that's because it went into movie culture and wasn't just about Nick Cage. It was about all different kinds of how movie culture is now and content creation and all that stupid stuff. It did a lot of good poking fun at Hollywood and everything. What did Josh Collier say about it? Best thing this movie did was get me to finally watch Paddington 2. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the ending is a big action sequence, and it's huge, and it's supposed to be over the top and crazy, and Nick Cage, and it's just not. It's just shot really bad, and it's not that exciting or engaging or crazy or over the top. They're trying to do like Nick Cage in Face Off, John Woo action movie, and it's just they're not good at it. They're not good at the action direction, and so the payoff of you've been watching this funny movie and now here's the giant, extremely over the top Nick Cage fight scene, it just doesn't pay off because they're not very good at doing it. Yeah, I'd say it's fine. It's 2.5. That's fine. It doesn't need to move up or down. The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse is a hard one for me because I understand that it's a good movie. I understand that it's a good movie. I don't like it very much. I just don't like it a lot. I gave it a 4 because I didn't want people to yell at me. I like The Witch substantially more than I like The Lighthouse. And I still think this movie's pretty good. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna bring it down a half. My problems with this movie stem from it being kind of boring. And I like boring movies. I do. I own this movie, by the way. I bought it. But I like boring movies. I like boring movies more than most people. But this movie doesn't feel like it should be. It's insanely well shot. It's so well shot. The acting is so good. Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson do an incredible job. I guess I just don't vibe with it. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to take it apart because technically it should be a 5 out of 5. Like if you just everything about it should be a 5 out of 5. I like the commentary on American working class. I like that it's a Prometheus myth reworked for modern day, whenever this took place, the 40s or 50s. But I just don't vibe with it. I don't know. So it's a 3.5. Everything Everywhere All at Once. Blue Chunks. I hate this movie. I don't like this movie. I don't like it very much. This is too high of a rating. Let me go see what I said about it. Yeah, dude, friends, this movie is The Matrix. They ripped off beat for beat The Matrix. And if you know me, you know I'm a big Matrix guy. I liked it a lot the first time I watched it. I just because it was fun and it was visually interesting and it was whoa and it was real cool, funny things happening. And this movie basically feels like a Reddit post. Like, I don't know. It feels very Redditory, and it also is beat for beat The Matrix. And I wrote down some of my examples here. The movie starts with an introduction of the mundane. She's doing taxes. She has to go to the IRS. She has to take care of her laundry store or her what are they called? Laundromats. She had to take care of her laundromat. She has to take care of her daughter. She has to take care of her husband. She has to do all these things. She has a mundane life and she wants more. Good, I get that. That's exactly how they introduced the Matrix. Neo is in the mundane. He is working a day job. He's working in a cubicle. He's in an oppressive environment. All these things. And I get that. That's a thing. That's a Joseph Campbell. That's an archetype. That's how you start a story. Luke on the farm in Star Wars, okay? Luke is on the farm. His life's mundane. He wants something more. Introduction to the Mundane is not, that's not out of the ordinary. Thousands of movies do that. There is then a red pill, blue pill choice. There is a legitimate red pill, blue pill choice. Her husband, I wish I could remember his name. Quan isn't his name. Short Round. Her husband, Short Round, is he switches into his own reality, back to his own reality, and he says, you can go on that path down there, or you can join me over there in the closet and open up your brain to a whole new reality. He literally gives her a choice. You can continue on with your life how it is, or you can break free and join me over here. There is a red pill, blue pill choice, and it is presented almost identically to The Matrix. And then there is you feel your world isn't as it should be. There's literally a point where he goes, like in The Matrix, when Morpheus says, you feel your world isn't as it should be. You can feel it when you go to church, when you when you pay your taxes. He does the whole bit where he's like, you feel that the world is somehow off. Her husband, Short Round, does the exact same thing in this movie. He is like, you feel that like the world isn't as it should be. Things are wrong. Things are a little off. Why does it feel like reality is wrong? And because it is. It's an identical discussion. And then also she downloads Kung Fu into her brain. She downloads Kung Fu directly into her brain. I don't even need to tell you that's... I put King Fu. Oh no, I misspelled it. Oh, it's been misspelled for 2 years now. Oh no. Anyway, downloads Kung Fu into her brain, just like Neo. And then there is an intro of the team in the real world, or the Alpha universe, with a mobile command center that they use to jack in or reality hop. In The Matrix, they have the Nebuchadnezzar and their ship that they use to broadcast their pirate signal to get into the Matrix, right? And it's in the real world. In Everything Everywhere All at Once, there is a group of resistance fighters who are in a van who use their mobile command center van to jack in or reality hop into the Alpha universe, or from the Alpha universe into all the other universes. It is directly from The Matrix. And then I noticed on my second viewing that she stops bullets with her mind in the climax of the film. They shoot at her and she holds out her hand and she stops bullets. She stops them with love, which is how kind of Neo does it too. Anyway, this movie sucks. I'm bumping it down to a 2.5. I am bumping it down to a 2.5. I do not like this movie. I'm doing it here too. Boom. This movie makes me mad. There's also a lot of other things that happen. There's a lot of other things that happen that are just dumb. But Jamie Lee Curtis winning an Oscar for this performance is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. Prisoners, 5-star movie. I'm not even going to talk about it. Phenomenal film. 5-star movie. Go watch it if you haven't already. I'll just talk about it in the other 3 times I've rewatched it since. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I don't remember a thing from this movie. Let's see what I wrote about it. Multiverse of Midness. Am I right? I'm so funny. Sam Raimi brings some fun style to the usually bland Marvel formula. I desperately want to care about the MCU again. Hasn't happened. I saw every MCU joint opening night from Iron Man to Endgame, and I did. That is true. And now I just don't care. I have no clue what they're building towards. Loki was my only Phase 4. Was the only Phase 4 that remotely piqued my interest. And then Loki Season 2 was dookie. Anyway, Raimi's style was incredible. And what did I like here? What's this review? Across the Spider-Verse, we need you now more than ever. So true. And it was good-ish. American Psycho, I'm bumping this up because this movie is so funny. I think about it all the time. I loved that in the movie he constantly talks about how he's 27, and I hadn't seen this movie until I was 27. And I was just watching it going, oh, that's me. I'm 27. This is literally me for real. And it's rare that you find a movie that is incredibly good and infinitely memeable. It's just true. This movie is so funny in its satire and its takedown of American yuppieism and all the rich kid stuff. It's just so good. I'm going to bump it up half star because this movie is so good. Go watch it. Prince of Egypt is a 5-star movie. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking. That is a 5-star film. I don't know why I had it at a 4. That is an instant 5 for me. Let's see what I wrote about it. I mentioned I'm 27 again. Not anymore, 28. But I'm 27 and seeing this masterpiece for the first time. I'm suing my mother for never showing me this. I did talk to her about it. She says she did show it to me, and I think I would remember if I saw this movie. That's all I'm saying. I think I would remember even if I was 4 years old. Okay. And I was 3 when it came out. So this film has the perfect depiction of a god who is both intimate and ethereal. Honestly, this movie should be a standard for any biblical adaptation. What, Jacob? What? That I hadn't seen Prince of Egypt? Let's see. Here we are. We have arrived. We have arrived at my most hated movie on this list. Can I give it no stars? I think that would just take it away. Yeah, bro, but I never watched it, okay? Nobody put it in for me. I was a dumb baby. I was a dumb baby, and nobody put the VHS in for me. I was just too busy putting in Jurassic Park VHS over and over again. Nobody said, stop, Jesse. Just put in. Nobody said, stop, Jesse. Just put in the VHS of Prince of Egypt. Nobody said that. So it's their fault, not mine. The lowest reviewed movie on my list here. The worst movie I have watched in the last 2 years is Alex Garland's Men. Men is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I hate this movie. This movie pissed me off to no end. This movie made me rethink all of Alex Garland's previous films because I thought, if he's this stupid, there's no way I must have misread his other films, and the things that I found in them that were smart must not actually be smart because he's this stupid. I'll just read you the review because this was my most heated review. I wrote this in 2 minutes after seeing this movie, and I'll just read it so I don't talk about it for an hour. Finally, a film just for the boys. I had a whole joke review planned where I pretended to miss the point and act like the woman was being crazy and the men were in the right. But this film mentally destroyed my will to be funny. I hate this movie so much. This movie was straight up butt-ass garbage. You know when a YouTuber does a camera review and takes their girlfriend into the woods and films really generic B-roll? Here, let's just find that real quick. Let's just bring that up and I'll show you. I'll just show you, okay? Let's see. Let's just do GH5 cinematic B-roll, huh? Perfect. No, mute. Okay, look at this. See this? YouTuber takes their girlfriend into the woods to shoot cinematic B-roll. Wow, look at that. Oh, wow, look at that. Wow. Oh, that is his girlfriend. That is his girlfriend. And they are in the woods shooting with a camera. Shooting B-roll with a camera for YouTube. There's his girlfriend in the woods. Guys, this was the first video that came up. Oh, God. There's his girlfriend. They're in the woods, and she's aimlessly looking around. She is aimlessly looking around. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. You know when a YouTuber does a camera review and takes their girlfriend into the woods and films really generic B-roll? That's 20 minutes of this movie. That's 20 minutes of this movie. Okay. She just walks around in the woods and just looks around and nothing happens. And it looks just like that. It looks just like that video I just showed. Okay. This movie is the definition of filler. Just woman walking and staring at things. And bro, don't freaking tell me that I missed the point of the movie. There was barely a point. I get it. Gaslight bad, gatekeep bad, blame shift bad. And here's the kicker, boys. There are ways to show grief and guilt without showing Rory Kinnear's labia split open and another Rory Kinnear coming out. That happens 4 times, and it lasts 8 minutes while the lead actress stares like this. Sometimes we get a out of her, but she just... I'm not kidding. It happens 4 times. It's like a Cronenberg bit with monsters, or a John Carpenter bit where there's monsters and he's gross, but it's just Rory Kinnear going out of a monster Rory Kinnear. It happens 4 times. Just when you think it can't happen anymore, it happens again. And I hate this movie. I can't wait for the articles discussing the symbolism and metaphors that seem to accompany every A24 film like clockwork and exist solely so film bros can regurgitate their talking points and pretend that they understood the meaning of the film the whole time. Yeah, that happens. That doesn't happen that much anymore because A24 has started making much better movies. Similarly to Lamb, if you told me that this was satirizing elevated horror, thank you, John Krasinski, I'd say bravo, 5 out of 5. I haven't been this heated. I can't wait for Top Gun. Get this shit out of my face. And bro, quit. Don't you come in here. Oh, Jacob's in here talking about Oppenheimer. Get out of here, dude. We're not even gonna talk about your takes on Oppenheimer. Watch this movie, Jacob. Go watch this movie and then compare. This is a real bad movie. Let's see. What did Esther say? She wrote a really good review, and oh yeah, well, everybody caught on, I guess, because I got 10,000 likes. But yeah, hack pop feminist garbage. That's pretty true of this movie. Woo! This movie is bad. I wish I could give it 0, but it just doesn't give you a rating. So it's much more damning to just throw half on there. And then 4 days later, I saw Top Gun Maverick, and my life was better in every conceivable way. My life was better. Yeah. One thing that I pointed out was that Tom Cruise reenacts the Death Star trench run beat for beat, and it's the best thing you're going to see this year. And it probably was. Yeah, this Top Gun Maverick, I mean, what can I say? It was a good movie. Just fun movie. Good time all around. Good time to be had by all. The shots, just the shots of the cockpits of the planes and them fly, it's like, that's just enough to make it a 4. Batman 89. I did not like this movie. It was okay. I wrote quite a bit about it, but I said I loved it, and I loved it in a way that is fun to laugh at. It's very fun to laugh at. And Jacob, I'm still pissed at you for what you said about Oppenheimer. I'm not gonna be able to forget that until we get to the review of Oppenheimer, which is many pages from now. I'm not gonna be able to forget about it. I'm just gonna be thinking about it this whole time. Maybe I should jump to Oppenheimer. I'm gonna jump off a bridge. Okay, Batman 89, pretty good. All right, whatever. Downton Abbey, so I watched this on a plane on the way to Greece. This is why June doesn't have any. Bro, Jacob, you're gonna come to my house and you're gonna watch it, and I'm gonna just look at you the whole time. I'm just gonna stare at your face for 3 hours. The reason I only had 3 movies logged in this month is Rachel and I went to Greece. And this was a fun experience. I watched this on the plane. This was a fun experience because we watched this in an open air cinema in Greece on the island of Santorini. And I didn't rate it because how do you rate Downton Abbey? It was just Downton Abbey. I don't know what to tell you. We had watched the whole series. We had watched the movie. I feel like I didn't rate the first movie. Oh no, I didn't rate the first. We definitely watched the first movie in here, and I guess I forgot to rate it. But this is when we watched it outside, and I just said, no number score, it's Downton Abbey in it, because it is. And we got Morbius. Ooh boy, Morbius. Art. That's the only review. That's the only thing I said. This movie is so funny. This is genuinely one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. There's so much to say for one stream, but yeah, I don't know. So funny. What can I say that hasn't been said? Walk to Remember sucks. This was not a good rom-com at all. Spoiler, she dies. And also there's a needle drop of Dare You to Move. And that was the funniest thing I have experienced since I watched Morbius 2 weeks before. The Northman. The dancing in Morbius was good. You're right. You are right. And it led to one of my favorite memes. So, The Northman. The Northman. This movie was dope. I'm sad that it made no money and bombed like crazy. I'm really sad about that, but it doesn't seem to have affected Robert Eggers at all because he's making Nosferatu. And so, whatever. This also inspired me to make my list. Let me see if I can find it. My Chad Gamer Cinema list on here. It's not very extensive yet, but I added the Northman, because there's literally a Dark Souls dungeon in the middle. There's literally a scene where he has to, I think I wrote it here. My favorite scene was when Amleth had to fight a Dark Souls boss to collect some sweet loot. It was sick. This was my favorite out of the Lighthouse and the Witch, the Northman. Let's see. Nope. I criminally rated this way lower than I should have. And I'm not going to correct these because I corrected it later on as I rewatched the movie 2 more times. Nope rules. Nope is a modern blockbuster, a Spielberg, Shyamalan style, Hitchcock style blockbuster. It is so good. What did I write about it? Yeah, I didn't understand what the social message was yet. It was something about spectacle. Anyway, it was a sick-ass blockbuster. Also kind of boring. What was I saying? Is not even in the least bit boring. Was I high? Am I dumb? But in a way I think we need. What does this even mean, Jesse? This is really stupid. Why would you say this? I love the way Peele renders nighttime. It's beautiful, and I've never seen darkness shot that way. And the way they shot it was they used 3 different cameras, and one of them was infrared. And then they overlaid them all. I don't even know how to describe it to you. It was nuts. Thor: Love and Thunder is moving down. This movie sucked. This movie blew chunks. It's fun, and I've not thought about it since. The ending of Nope was boring. Oh, dude, get out of here. She does an Akira bike slide at the end. It's fine. The comedy wasn't terrible as everyone made it sound. There were like 5 jokes. Yeah, there wasn't hardly any comedy. That's kind of why it sucked. And it definitely felt like a first draft. This movie blew chunks, and I've been saying it for years. I did not like Thor Ragnarok that much. I liked it the first time. I was then forced to watch it like 4 more times, and I realized that movie kind of sucks. And it throws everything about Thor out the window, and I don't like it. I like that they changed Thor into a little more funny of a character, and I would have been fine with that. And he kind of becomes the butt of a joke as the movies go on, and he gets his mojo back, and then he becomes the butt of a joke again, and then he gets his mojo back. It's just a reverse. It's just a constant cycle. And then here he's a loser again that has to get his mojo back. Christian Bale was good. I wish they'd have done something with him. Christian Bale was good in this movie, but he was in like 5 scenes. And I'm going to knock this down to a 1. I'll give it 2 stars each for Christian Bale's 2 scenes. And then I watched Nope again. And I liked it even more the second time. Shyamalanian setups and payoffs mixed with Spielbergian tension and topped off with near perfect pacing. In my first review, I called it a little boring because the pacing felt weird. I think I was so wrought with anticipation for the next scene that I couldn't see how every scene builds perfectly into the next. On second viewing, the editing and pacing are airtight. Now, having watched this movie 4 times, I stand by that. The pacing and editing, it just holds up and it keeps getting better every time you watch it. It's just such a good movie. And here it is. This is the only reason I cannot rate this movie 5 stars. The only reason it isn't 5 stars, I can't figure out what the hell caused the cinematographer to decide to kill himself and ruin the whole plan. It seems completely out of left field and unnecessary. I've seen people explain this. I've seen people like talk about like he wanted to get the perfect shot and he was selfish, and I don't know. It just doesn't hold up, and it feels like this particular moment could have been in a movie full of setups, really good setups with really good payoffs. It feels like this moment was not set up that well, and that's why it will stay at a 4.5, which I rated it later. But Starship Troopers rules. If you haven't seen Starship Troopers, go watch it. This movie made me bisexual. That's a joke, please, everyone. This movie is so funny. Somehow the US made our best post 9/11 satire movie before 9/11. How did we do that? This is the best post 9/11 satire movie, and we made it in 97. So I don't know how. America is so far ahead of the cultural curve that we have achieved such cultural dominance that we are satirizing our own tragedies before they happen. Homeward Bound. Why did I even rate this? This is a kid's movie. I'm removing my rating and throwing a like on it. This is a children's movie. I don't need to rate it. Good movie. Good movie. Prey was pretty good. I'll leave it there. 3.5 is good. Let's see what I wrote. Pretty good little action film. Everything felt natural and earned. Good setups and payoffs. The climax could have been a little more badass, but it did feel natural. I liked that good people died normally. Like they got shot, or they got stabbed, or they got punched. And bad people got absolutely 360 no-scoped, just utterly dumpstered and dookied on. They did. He would like split them in half and throw them in 800 different places and hang them up in a tree. Anyway, it was sick. The definition of above average, and I did watch the Comanche dub. It was awesome. It was so cool. If you go on Hulu and click on the audio, or go to the extras tab, you can watch this movie with a Comanche dub that the actors did, which is pretty sick. Bodies is so funny, and it deserves higher. It is. I think you're right, Jacob. Jacob says this is the best Predator movie, and I think I agree. I think it's the best one. I might be biased, but I think it's the best one. I want to buy it. Yeah, they finally released it on Blu-ray, and I might buy it because it's freaking good. Bodies is hilarious. A cute girl with a foreign accent destroys a house full of rich people. No, it's not Knives Out. This movie is so funny. Introduced me to Rachel Sinow, who is one of the funniest actresses I've ever seen. She is so good in this movie. And in things I've seen her in since, she's just as good. Clueless, I had never seen this before. And I don't know what's wrong with me because this movie is so funny. What did I write about it? Yeah, Jane Austen wishes she could write something this good. It's true. This clears. Even though it's based on Jane Austen, it clears Jane Austen. Nathan For You. The final episode, if you've never seen Nathan For You, the final episode is a feature-length movie. Um, it's a feature-length documentary, and it's hilarious. One of the funniest and heartfelt. I do remember what I wrote for this. Absolutely incredible ending to a great show. I wish I'd been into Nathan Fielder when the show was airing. Similarly to Bo Burnham's Make Happy, I feel like this would have absolutely destroyed 22-year-old me for months. And yeah, because this is really good. I want to watch this again. Cheaper by the Dozen, not that good. Pretty bad movie. Go watch this movie on a 27-inch CRT during a weekend getaway to a cabin and just vibe. That's really the only use for this. I didn't watch it like this, but I feel like that would be the perfect application for this film. Yeah, fine. Keep that there. If I could give this more, I would. Don't Worry, Darling was terrible. That's right. Jesse with the smolderingly cold take. Don't Worry, Darling was bad. Let's have a look. Andrew Tate's The Matrix, and it is awful. I drove out in the middle of a hurricane to see this, and I want to remember that. Olivia Wilde isn't her last. It was incredibly comedic time, and I would see her in a comedy or a rom-com or something. Yeah, that's funny. Andrew Tate's The Matrix. Movie blue chunks, and I am going to drop it down to a 1. This movie sucked. Okay. I will not give it a half star. There was some good stuff. I'll give it a 1.5. Okay. Final rating. Can't be changed. See How They Run. I don't remember this movie at all. I don't remember a dang thing about it. I remember Saoirse Ronan's in it, and I remember Sam Rockwell's in it. Oh, that's Don't Worry, Darling. What did I write? I don't remember this movie at all. If we, for the rest of time, get a couple passable and cute whodunits a year, followed by a Knives Out sequel every other year, I'll die happy. And I mean that. This is cute and passable. I don't remember anything about it, though. I remember Saoirse Ronan's pretty good in it. Shocker. Jojo Rabbit, rewatched it. Let's see. Do I like Hunt for the Wilder People? I don't remember. But this is a good one. This is the only movie that makes me think Taika Waititi might be a good director. And I don't know why he doesn't make more movies like this. Why does he keep making bad Thor movies? Make more movies like Jojo Rabbit. This movie's good. Hocus Pocus 2. Yeah, bunch of Disney Channel dialogue. OMG, yeah, that just happened. Yep, that's the whole thing. And the first one's not like that. Why is the second one like that? Wow, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Trey, I'm sorry. Trey made me watch this, and I did not like it. I'm sorry. It was fine. I said, is this what pride is like? I did not like this movie. Not for any weird reason. It just wasn't fun. It just wasn't fun for me. There was a lot of... The music was fun, I guess. I liked the music. I liked Tim Curry. He was really funny. I liked the one bit. There was one bit that made me laugh in the whole movie. Okay? One thing. One really funny bit. It was when he goes and sleeps with one of them and they protest and he convinces them, and then he immediately goes into the other one's bedroom and tries to sleep with them, and they protest and he convinces them, and then he has slept with both members of the married couple, and it's a pretty funny bit. Anyway, Good Will Hunting made me cry. I want to go to therapy. Next page. 5-star movie. Here we go. I finished out October of 22 watching Blade and Blade 2. Nobody told me that Blade rules. Blade is so good. That movie's awesome. What else is there to say? Dude, the opening scene with the vampire nightclub, it's let me think. That it's awesome. It's just good. It's just so good. It's just such a good movie. And it like genuinely works as a good origin movie. It's not just like so bad it's good or so bad it's funny. It genuinely works as a good movie and then has moments that are just so bad that they're fun. Like things that you look at and you're like, you can't do this in a modern film today. Like you can't make a vampire nightclub where Blade stabs a guy into the ceiling and then like, and they rain blood out of the sprinklers and all the vampires dance in the blood. Like you just can't do that. And it's cool to look at. It's cool to see. And Blade is having the best time throughout the whole movie. It is a vibe. Jacob, you're right. Blade is a vibe. It's just Blade is like having the best time. He's like making funny faces. He's like, I don't know. It's Wesley Snipes yelling and being sassy at people. It's just so funny. And then Blade 2 is butthole. Blade 2 sucks. Blade 2 thought it was The Matrix, and it was not. It was not The Matrix. The best thing Blade could have done was come out 1 year before The Matrix. The worst thing Blade 2 could have done is come out after The Matrix. This movie sucks. And Guillermo del Toro made it, and that's weird because it sucks. The Village, I think I rate this higher later on, so I won't re-rate it right now. These stay the same. The Village rules. I love The Village. It's so well shot. I don't know if you can see it. I have a poster for it up there. You definitely can't see it. I love The Village so much. The Village is a vibe. I get why people who went and saw it didn't like it. I get that. I didn't have that experience of the marketing misleading and the lead up to the film and then getting hoodwinked kind of. I didn't have that experience. I just watched it and I liked it. And I said this would be a 5 out of 5 if it wasn't for all the dropped balls in the third act. But until then, oh boy, are those balls in the air. He tantalizes you. Yeah, I really liked the long takes and everything. Good stuff. Love The Village. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I watch it again later on. Who's in it is their best. Yeah, it's true. I think you're right. Jacob says that every actor in The Village, it's their best performance. And I think he's right. I don't know if anyone in The Village gives a better performance than any other movie that they're in. Joaquin Phoenix might be the only one who might give a better performance than something, but even then it's debatable. He probably has the best one here. Garth Marenghi's Doc Place. This show is hilarious. Go watch this show. It is a parody of what even to say, of something you would find on cable TV at 2 a.m. That's the only thing I'd say about it. And anything else, it's the whole thing's on YouTube. Just look up Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Watch it in October. It's so funny. It's basically just making fun of Stephen King. Good stuff. Or authors who want to be Stephen King, more like. But anyway, I watched Dune again. Shocker. It is incredibly well paced. I noticed that on this viewing. Also, little Letterboxd Easter egg. The eye on the review turns blue. If you do it normally, it's green. But if you review Dune, it turns blue within blue. Look at that. I still desperately want an extended version, though. Pacing be damned. Give me the dinner scene with UA and the scene with UA and Jessica. We know they were filmed, Denis. Give them to us. Werewolf by Night. Don't remember this at all. I remember it was kind of good. Little Marvel film. It was a short film by Giacchino, I think, who's usually a composer. Pretty good. My favorite Marvel media since Loki. But if you want to, if you want it to look like film, just shoot on film. They did everything they could to make it look old in post, even down to adding dust, hairs, burns, and Q marks. They added Q marks in the corner, which is just a weird thing because Q marks are for when the projectionist needs to change the film reel in the projection booth. Why would you add Q marks for a show that's on streaming? But anyway, just because it makes it look old, it doesn't make sense that it's there though. But my wife, who has only the film knowledge I annoy her with, now you share that, noticed that it was shot digitally and pointed it out after 5 minutes. She said, "Why did they put a weird filter on this?" Or something like that. I'm not going to change the rating because I don't remember it that much at all. Barbarian is awesome. This movie rules. Yeah. This movie's so good. Don't look up anything about it. It's a scary movie. Just know that. If you haven't seen it, it's a scary movie. So if you don't like scary movies, watch it anyway. All you need to know is it's a scary movie. Oh, the Q marks. Yeah, from Inglourious Basterds. Yeah, if you've seen Inglourious Basterds, then I don't even need to... Oh, wait, yeah. Wait, is Ian right? It's in Fight Club. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, Tarantino movie taught me about Q marks. Let's see. Fight Club is David Fincher. I'm an idiot. Anyway, Barbarian's really good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Don't look up anything about it. Just turn it on. Just turn it on and just don't look up anything. The less you know about this movie going in, the better for you. I watched the documentary for Nope. The making of Nope. I don't have anything to say about that. Really good documentary. All Quiet on the Western Front. This movie was really good. War Looks Bad. Ass. This movie was shot really... what I mean by that is this movie was shot really cool. The French tank charge was incredible. The German perspective of manipulation and propaganda was very good. Love this movie. Twitter tried to tell me that it's bad, and then I rewatched it, and it's just as good. So I don't know. Knives Out. This movie rules. This movie's so good. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love Knives Out. What did I write about it? You ever get bullied by Reddit so hard that you make the best whodunit of all time just to spite them? Ryan Johnson. You're the man. Weird, the Al Yankovic story. This was a really funny movie. I watched this with Trey. Yeah, all the jokes are... Yeah, this was a weird thing where this movie was hilarious for about 2/3. And then by the final act, it was just dry. Like, there was almost no jokes. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty funny. I'm not changing the review on that. Do I need to change the review on any of these? No, they're good. They're good for now. If you're just joining us, I am doing a stream where I review all of the movies I've watched since I started using Letterboxd again 2 years ago. We're about to get to 2023. We're approaching December of 22. I'm going to do this every year to review all of my movies that I've watched in the past year. A year-end review of all the movies I've watched. So we're just doing 2 years this time because that's when I started using Letterboxd again. All right, so Shark and Saw Women's Prison Massacre. This movie is so funny. You can go watch our video on it. I should link it in my review. A near perfect example of so bad it's good. A wacky premise, hilarious dialogue, and former adult film stars in leading roles. And the thing that I was blown away by was that the shark VFX are shockingly decent. They are pretty good. You can go watch our commentary video on this on Jesse Monday's YouTube channel. I hear he's pretty good at this. Glass Onion. I liked this movie a lot. You ever get so mad at a billionaire that you make a whole movie just to call him a dumbass? Ryan Johnson and Orson Welles have. That's true. This movie is just 2 hours of making fun of Elon Musk, and it's pretty funny. Not as good as Knives Out. Knives Out is a near perfect film. It is as perfect as I think you can get. There, it is so tightly wound, and there's not a wasted frame. Nothing, like, I don't know how else to describe it. It is just perfectly paced, perfectly edited, perfectly acted. And Glass Onion is pretty good in comparison. It just doesn't hit those heights for me that Knives Out has. I love Benoit Blanc, though. Daniel Craig. He's really funny, doing that funny accent. And he's gay now. He's gay now in this movie. All right. The Batman. I upped it to 5 stars. And this is a real quote from my friend. We watched this for our boys' movie night. A friend of mine said, "Wow, I should start watching movies again." My friend, who hasn't watched movies for a while, immediately after watching this movie. And he did. He bought a new TV and started watching movies again. Yeah, again, this movie rules. This is the best Batman movie. Eat my shorts if you disagree. Okay. Banshees of Inisherin. Pretty good movie. I had never seen a Michael McDonough film. That's who made this, right? Martin McDonough, sorry. I had never seen a Martin McDonough film. I really like his style. He's pretty fun. I'm like way out of frame, guys. Sorry. I just saw myself in the top there. Okay. Yeah, just your standard feel-good pick-me-up movie. Nothing too sad happens in this movie. About 5 minutes in, I thought, I wonder if Barry Keoghan's in this movie. And then he appeared on screen not 10 seconds later. It's pretty funny. And this movie did sell me on Barry as a Joker. He has some jokery elements in this. So I wonder, I hope they change his design for the next Batman movie or whenever he will appear. But he can pull it off, I think. He can pull off. In Bruges was another Martin McDonough, and it's pretty funny. This happened to me once. It didn't. That's a joke review, guys. Chill. This movie's pretty good. Watch both of these movies. Watch In Bruges and then watch Banshees of Inisherin. They're both extremely funny. Colin Farrell and what's this guy's name? Well, Brendan Gleeson. Look, and Ralph Fiennes. Look, they're really funny. Go watch it. A good movie. Avatar. What, can you watch this review at a later time? Yeah, it'll be I think it'll save onto my Facebook page. If you want to watch it later. Let's see. Avatar. Very funny. I like this movie a lot. This was my first time watching in over a decade. I hadn't seen this movie since I watched it in the theater. I watched this movie in a theater with my grandparents. They loved it. I remember my grandma fist pumped in the air at one point. That is a core memory of mine. Still fun, and the CGI is still insane. The fact that this movie can show me something like an alien panther fighting a mech, and my brain registers it as photoreal with no uncanny valley, is a testament to the artist. And it's true. You can just watch this movie, and it just is photoreal for the most part. You can tell it's CGI, obviously, but like maybe it's just because the whole thing's CGI. You just don't notice. The third act slaps. Yeah, Neon Dances with Wolves, and you know what? I don't care. It's so good. It's too good. Dances with Wolves sucks compared to this movie. Dances with Wolves sucks. It ripped off Avatar retroactively. Dances with Wolves doesn't suck. It's just not as good as Avatar. The third act slaps. It is so good. Just watch the third act, and you'll understand. You'll understand Avatar. I didn't rate this because it was fine. It was just like a little jokey 20-minute holiday special. Ooh, baby. Now we get to R. I desperately need to watch this again. Watching this with Trey was one of the best experiences I've ever had. I said, dude, we have to watch this. I clicked on it. It showed up that it was 3 hours long, and Trey was like, dude, we can't watch a 3-hour movie. We can't watch a 3-hour movie. And then I pushed him down onto the couch, and I said, you're watching this movie. Everyone is talking about it. It's supposed to be really good. This was one of the best movies I watched in 2022. And the Batman came out that year. All right, this movie's so good. Go watch it. It's on Netflix, okay? It's a movie. It was made in India. It's technically a Tollywood movie because it's spoken in Telugu. I don't remember the language. Dude, I teared up. Twice in this movie. Unfortunately, you can't watch it in the original language. It's translated into Hindi for some reason. But I don't know. You can't watch it in the original Telugu language. I jumped back to the top. I don't know why, but I would love to be able to get a Blu-ray with the OG language on there. But This movie it has literally everything. I'll talk about it later. It'll come up later. I'll just move on for now. I watched it again. Shocker. Violent Night, Santa Claus movie. I gave it a 4.5. I must have really I must have been really like in a high place coming out of the theater when I saw this, because 4.5 is high for this movie. I did write a little bit about it. There is an incredible trend in big budget films recently where the filmmakers take their extremely silly universe and premise and dive in wholeheartedly without shame. Dune, The Batman, RRR, Avatar, Top Gun, and Violent Night execute their plot and dialogue without a single wink to camera. They don't go, we know that this is kind of silly, but just bear with us. They just do it. They just do it. Not a single acknowledgement of how silly the concept is, nor a meta joke about how weird their actions are. The performances and filmmaking are executed with full sincerity. And I love that. This is a movie where the real ass Santa, because I thought that it was just a guy who dresses up as Santa. When I saw the trailer, when I walked into the movie theater, I thought this was a movie about a mall Santa who has to do Die Hard. No, this is the real Santa. This is the real ass Santa violently murders dozens of people. The villain monologues about why they hate Christmas, and the movie wants us to cheer when Santa saves the Blackwater war profiteers. This is a real thing that happens in the movie. The filmmakers knew that they were making a dumb movie, and at no point were they ashamed of that. They framed everything with the utmost sincerity, and the movie never breaks character to apologize for the mix of seriousness and absurdity. Oh my gosh. The film only loses half a star because it spent too much time on the family. Give me more grandiose Santa slaying, and also the best Santa lore ever. Give me sequels every year. I think I need to see Santa crash his sleigh into a helicopter in the third one. Die Hard with a Vengeance reference. Best Santa lore ever. If you haven't seen this movie, just go watch it. It's hilarious. One of the funniest movies. Now that I read that review, I'm keeping it there. I wasn't going to drop it down. I think this movie's a 4.5. Watched Glass Onion again. What did I say? Yeah, it's more scathing. Satire. Ryan Johnson is so terminally online. He's damn near prophetic. Yeah. I said in the third one, I want Kenneth Branagh as a rival detective. I think that would be really funny. Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The okayest movie. Yeah, okay. I remember some of the performances were really good. I was going to drop this down, but I'll let it keep the half for the performances. I was very bored through most of this movie. The first one was like a 3.5. This one was just not good. Not good. Bad movie. Not fun. Boring. And then we get Avatar, The Way of Water. I am bumping this up half a star. This movie rules. This movie's so good. The story is, again, very simple, but it works. It's fun, beautiful, and the characters are engaging. I am excited for the next movie. I think the next movie is going to be a banger. Very good movie. I watched About Time. I do it every New Year's. Best New Year's movie of all time. Good movie. This is one of the most sincere, tearjerker, crush your heart, revive you, bring you back to life, kiss you on the mouth, revive you. Best movies of all. Like, this movie will just get you in every feel that you have. Good movie. Sicario. What I'm about to say will piss people off. Sicario is not very good. Denis and Deakins could turn a Tommy Wiseau script into an Oscar contender. And I believe it, because this script sucks. This script blows. It's not good. It's just dudes saying dude things. It's just a guy goes, "Are you sure we can take him?" And then another guy goes, "Oh yeah, we can take him." And that's the whole script. That's it. That's all of it. That's just, "Are you sure we should go in there? Don't worry, we can do it." And that's it. That's the script. I don't know why Denis picked this movie, picked this script. But because of these two, Denis' direction and Deacon's camera, that gets all of this. All of this is for them. Anyway, The Menu. This is not a 4-star movie. Okay, hang on. Let me read what I wrote. A straight hour of me rolling my eyes every time someone says something pretentious. I mean, that was this was a joke. This wasn't like something the movie did accidentally. They said pretentious stuff as a joke. The movie falls apart a bit. Love the movie as a whole, though. Making fun of the rich as a genre has really taken off in recent years. It's true. I don't think this movie is very good, though. It's pretty fun. It's very average. I'm going to knock that down to a 3. I'm going to leave that there. Final review. Can't change it. Just because I don't know. Also very mid movie, Pale Blue Eye. I do think about it. It's not more often than most. I think about it more than The Menu or Sicario. I can say that. Plot needed to bake in the oven a little while longer. Christian Bale and his name, Harry Melling. Is that his name? Yep. Harry Melling does such a good job. He plays Edgar Allan Poe in this movie. And Edgar Allan Poe helps Christian Bale solve a murder. Or something. I think that's what they do. I can't remember. But they both do great. Wait, what was bad? What thought it was smart? Pale Blue Eye or The Menu? Because both of those could be true. The Menu definitely thought it was very smart, and it was kind of mid. Pale Blue Eye, pretty good. Pretty good movie. The Fabelmans rules. Yeah, Jacob says that The Menu was bad, thought that it was smart. It definitely thought that it was way smarter than it was. Which is weird because the guy who wrote Succession wrote the Menu, and Succession is incredible. So I don't know. The Pale Blue Eye, pretty good. Fabelmans. This movie's awesome. This movie is Spielberg doing an autobiography, or a biography, I guess. Autobiography of yourself. Doing an autobiography. I probably got that wrong. Yep. My goodness. This movie's so good. It just works well as a really good movie. It just works as a good movie. And also, if you're a film fan, if you're a Spielberg fan, it's just icing on the cake. You just get more out of it. For that. Last Duel is top tier Ridley Scott. Top tier Ridley Scott. On par with Gladiator. I will say it every time. It's on par with Gladiator. This movie rules. This movie's so good. The way he plays with reality and biases and it's so good. How people perceive reality. It's so good. Okay. He plays multiple scenes from different perspectives, and each one plays out differently from each person's different perspective. It's very good. Go watch The Last Duel. Phenomenal. Okay. Empire of the Sun. This was an early Spielberg movie. And I want to I'm not one of those cinema is dead, no one makes art anymore types, but sometimes you just look back at what we had and think we've lost something. There are shots with thousands of extras and hundreds of period cars, all in historically photoreal 1940s Shanghai. That's something that wouldn't even be attempted today without CG, and it's just for an establishing shot. It's nuts. You'll just look at it and you'll go, how did they shoot this? How did they shoot this? Very good. And Christian Bale's in it. Christian Bale's like a 10-year-old. He's the main character, and it's Christian Bale as a 10-year-old in this movie. It's really good. This Place Rules, not that good. Not that good of a documentary. Really hyped up. I thought it was going to be great. It's a documentary about January 6th. Andrew Callahan of Channel 5 was there the whole time. He's like an online journalist. You might all gas, no breaks, all that fun stuff. It was pretty good. Not as good as I thought it was going to be. It didn't dive in that deep. Requiem for a Dream. Pretty good movie. Let me see. What did I say? It is a cyberpunk movie. I will say it over and over again. This movie is just cyberpunk in themes and visuals. It's cyberpunk. I dig Darren Aronofsky. I know a lot of people don't. This movie's pretty good. Had never seen it before. I rewatched Bodies. It's so funny. All right, this is when I did it for a movie night with all of my friends, and I cannot overstate that this is genuinely one of the best nights of my entire life. I will remember this night when I showed all of my friends RRR for the rest of my life. Showing this to a room of my friends and hearing their reactions is a genuine high point. The screaming, the yelling, just everyone losing their minds at every beat. This is when I realized this movie is genuinely made for everyone. We had people in that room who just genuinely don't watch movies. They just don't watch movies. If they do, they might watch a Studio Ghibli because they're cute. They might watch an old Disney movie because they watched them when they were a kid. They might watch a romantic comedy. They might watch reality television. They're just not people who watch movies. And every person was locked in. Everyone was locked in on this movie. Everyone loved it. I had a friend and we paused the movie at an hour and a half because there's kind of like an intermission. There was a clear intermission at the halfway point, an hour and a half. And he said, I don't know what else could happen in this movie because I feel like I've already watched 10 movies. He's like, what could possibly happen in the next hour and a half? And I was like, dude, you nailed it. There is so much movie in this movie. There is literally something for everyone. And that might sound like, it doesn't accomplish anything well. It does everything right. It's so good. Anyway, I'll talk about it all day if I don't move on. I logged this random film Lost for the TV show Lost. Okay. This came out the same year that Lost premiered, 2004. It's just some random movie. Okay. I don't know. So I just finished Lost, the series. What an absolute incredible show. I had the privilege of watching this week to week with my grandparents when I was 9. I had no idea what was happening, but I was captivated. And I'm genuinely surprised how much stuck with me. I could remember almost every major plot point until season 4. I was like 9 years old when this was airing. Watching this as an adult had me just as enthralled. No other show has given this much depth of character, overwhelming intrigue, and captivating mystery. Highlights for me were the raft launch. Literally all of season 2 is good. Every single episode of season 2 is great. And I think the writer's strike happened in the middle of season 2. The van episode is so good. Everything in 1970s because they time travel. Anything with Sawyer and Juliet, best on-screen television couple of all time, and the season 3 finale, which is no contest, the greatest season finale of all time. Come on, Rachel, get in here. I'm doing my movie review stream.
What did I do?
Nothing. You just gotta get in here, get your opinions in here. I'm talking about Lost.
Oh, are you gonna be done in time to get her?
Yeah, was she 30 minutes? Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
15 minutes.
We'll wrap it up. Look, we got Lost. We're talking about Lost. Good stuff.
The show?
Yeah. Let's see. We watched Knock at the Cabin. Pretty good. What'd you think?
It was fine.
We came up with a better ending in the car.
We did.
We watched.
I don't remember what it was, but
yeah, we watched it and then we sat in the car and we're like, well, it should have ended like this, and it was like a 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And it was but ooh, baby, this is so close. It was this close to being good. 20th Century Women. Trey made me watch this. Trey Bound recommended film. Good movie. Greta Gerwig. Mid 90s was Misery Simulator. Yeah, lo-fi trauma to chill, relax to. And then we have Tar. What'd you think of Tar?
I love Tar.
Tar is so good. Tar is so fun.
I love Tar.
Tar.
Even the second watch. I'm not a movie second watcher.
Yeah.
I don't like rewatching things very often, but I really enjoyed it.
Tar. This is a movie that is basically a fake biopic. I mean, not really. People just made a joke that it was. But this is so funny. Her performance is incredible. Also, I love that there's just a genuine ghost in this movie. There's just a ghost. Did you know that? I've shown you that, right? And there's like 5 shots in the movie where there's just a ghost in the background. She'll just be
What?
she'll just be doing something. That's why I love this movie. It has so many. This is a normal movie, okay? Imagine like Jurassic Park just has a ghost in the background, okay? Or what's a better Forrest Gump? Just imagine that you're watching Forrest Gump and then there's just a ghost in the background inexplicably. Okay, that's like there. This movie is so funny. I love this movie. And then Everything Everywhere All at Once blows. Hate this movie. Garbage. Knocking it down. I'm keeping it at 2.5. This movie sucks. Oh, I gave it 3 stars here. I'm knocking it down. Half star for everything else. I have no idea how the Daniels copied 50% of The Matrix, and I'll just let them get away with it. This movie is 50% The Matrix.
Okay, I'm walking away.
Okay, bye. Movie sucks. Blows. I kind of liked it the first time I watched it. Second and third time, I was very upset the whole time. Showed this to my mom, and she just stared blank face for 2 hours. Blade Runner. We did a double feature one night, and very good. Love Blade Runner. Not as good. Obviously, it's not as good as the Blade Runner 2049. Not as good. This is the rare instance of the sequel being better than the original. I'm sorry, Ridley Scott. Do the Right Thing was incredible. This movie is a perfect film. It is just a perfect movie on every level. Go watch this. I'm not gonna say anything about it. I don't have time to say anything about it. Go watch it right now. Cocaine Bear. Put this on your list. Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing and put this on your list. Cocaine Bear. What did I write about it? Oh yeah. Could have been crazier. It felt like a normal whatever movie. No. Jacob, listen. Jacob, listen. Jacob says, Top Gun equaling New Hope is good. Everything Ever All at Once equaling The Matrix is bad. Here's the thing, Jacob. Here's the thing. Top Gun was just more fun. Listen, Top Gun copied A New Hope. Okay? There's no denying it. It's beat for beat. I'll make it make sense right now. It's beat for beat A New Hope. Okay? I get that. No one's denying it. Top Gun is just more fun. Okay? Top Gun is just more fun. It's more fun than Everything Ever All at Once. And Everything Ever All at Once just copied The Matrix literally beat for beat. There's some changing in the middle, but I don't know how you can make a movie where she puts out her hand and stops bullets at the end. With all the other things I said a lot of other things at the beginning. I gave like 8 examples from the first half. The movie is just not fun on top of that. It's just not fun on top of that. Sorry. I have given Top Gun enough grief for being a copy of A New Hope. And it's the problem is that Everything Everywhere All at Once being a copy of The Matrix just makes me more mad. It just makes me more mad than the Top Gun one. Okay. Speed dating. Here we go. I don't think I'm going to make it, boys. I don't think I'm going to make it. Ambulance. Hilarious movie. Live action GTA lobby. Just absolute chaos. It's like Mad Max. Oh yeah, the Rakakuni part was pretty. I mean, that was funny, but it also, yeah, it was funny. But also, I remember when that happened. You don't remember the Rakakuni part from The Matrix? Come on, what a ripoff. Ambulance, live action GTA lobby. White Noise. I don't know what it was about, but it was really good to look at. Really fun to look at. Gave it a 4. The end. Creed rules. The first Creed was incredible. Nothing to say about it. That was a good movie. Why did it take 8 years and my 16-year-old son to tell me Creed was good? Nobody told me Creed was good. Nobody told me that. Creed 2, Blue Chunks. Wasn't as good. Wasn't nearly as good. No, I mean, it's hard because this movie was perfect. But come on, watch The Nice Guys again. I watched it with my mom. She didn't laugh at the just say dad, there are whores here joke. The best joke in the movie. She didn't laugh. Stone faced. I don't know what's wrong with her. John Wick Chapter 4. Absolutely zero substance outside of the fight scenes. The worst dialogue and delivery I've seen in a long time. But hey, dialogue isn't everything, and in this case, it's nothing. The fights are the best they've ever been. This is probably the best film since the first one, and it is. The second one and third one are terrible. This is the only good sequel to John Wick. John Wick is pretty good. The other two are boring slogs. This one's really fun. Yeah, this is a movie that you'll probably never watch in its entirety again. You'll just watch clips of it on YouTube. And then we get Dungeons and Dragons, dude. God, this movie's so good. I love Dungeons and Dragons. This movie rules. And then we have Guardians. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy again. What is there to say? Hey, remember when Marvel was good? This movie rules. I only watched this because this reminded me so much of Guardians of the Galaxy. I wanted to watch Guardians of the Galaxy again. Yeah, this movie's awesome. God, this movie's good. It's never deserved a sequel more. Please. Give me another sequel. Give me a movie. This is so fun. We watched The Martian. I don't remember. What did I write about it? Ridley Scott makes good movies. What can I say? The Fablemans, watched it again. Just a good movie. Bumped it up. Oh boy, The Prestige. It is one of the last greats before the switch to digital. Like I talked about earlier, how digital looks like, almost always looks just like, or film looks like digital basically all the time now. Dunkirk, Tenet, and Oppenheimer all look digital with some great effects despite being shot 100% on film, just like The Prestige. So what has changed? With whatever intermediary process is being used that makes movies shot on film look digital, I have no idea, but they could still look like this. This movie looks incredible. It looks so good. Super Mario Brothers movie was meh. Big meh. Dropping it down to a 2. It was fun. Still kind of fun, though. I wish they had done... This would be a 5-star if they had done the Italian accents the whole movie. Do the Italian accents the whole movie, and you got me hooked. They do the Italian accents for the first minute. The first, minute and a half of the movie, they do the Italian accents. Never do them again. Not fun. I fell asleep, and my daughter did not laugh the whole time. So, I don't know what to tell you. Little Women is the most beautiful film I've ever watched. During this viewing where I showed Ethan, I cried 8 times. It was a new record for me. This is one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. Guardians of the Galaxy. Volume 3. Pretty good. Pretty okay. Missed a big moment at the end there. If you've seen it, there's a moment that is basically the complete inverse of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. And I just watched it like a couple weeks before. And there's a moment in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie where Peter Quill jumps out to heroically save Gamora, and he puts his helmet on her, and even though he might die, and he saves her. There is a reversed moment of that in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. The entire emotional center of the film, not the emotional center because Rocket is the emotional center, but the entire relationship of Gamora and Star-Lord is that she can't remember their relationship, blah, 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 blah. But there's a bit where Peter Quill is floating in space and he's going to freeze up and die, just like Gamora was in the first movie. And for a brief moment, you think, oh, this is going to be an inverse of that moment. She's going to save him this time. And da-da-da-da-da. That's how they get back together. Maybe, maybe not. And then just some dude I don't care about comes out of nowhere and saves Peter Quill. And just flattens the moment. And you just some guy I don't know shows up and saves Peter Quill. It's the guy it's Will Poulter with the gold paint. Shows up, Adam Warlock, he flies out of space and he grabs Peter Quill, and I just did this in the movie theater. I went, that was dumb. I don't know what to tell you. bad moment brought the whole film down. It was literally right there. It was right there in front of us. But anyway, Alien, so good, very good movie. Freaking, I think I'll bump this up when I watch it later, so I'll leave it. Probably the best sci-fi set design of all time. Good movie. Us, Peele's weakest film. It feels like the script needed another pass. Good thing Peele followed it up with a modern masterpiece, though, with Nope. Okay. All right. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Here's it. Here's all I'm going to say about it. It's in my review. The first movie is one of the most perfectly written, meticulously structured, and flawlessly executed movies ever made. It is, by every conceivable merit, a perfect film. The first one. Every conceivable merit. The first movie is a perfect film. This one's pretty good. That's all I gotta say. That's all I will say, because people will crucify me. We're only halfway through 2023. Arrival, one of my favorite Denis Villeneuve movies, Big Bean. Love this movie so much. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I think I remember. This is one of the most formative movies I watched as a teenager. Genuinely changed how I look at movies. And I'm not going to even pretend that I can review this objectively. Still give it 5 stars though. This movie is one of my favorites of all time. Black Klansman is so funny. Yeah, Black Klansman's great. Good movie. Good job, Spike Lee. They should give that guy more movies. I watched it again, and it cleared up. Yeah, most of my issues disappeared having watched it again. I don't really like the cliffhanger. It doesn't work. It feels like they ran out of time, and they didn't finish the movie. It doesn't feel like a cliffhanger that they were building to. It doesn't feel like, because literally it was like I thought they were setting up the third act, and I was like, oh my god, how much longer is this movie? And then the movie ended. So didn't feel like something they were naturally building towards. Annihilation sucks. Movie is one of the worst. And maybe Ex Machina was a fluke. I'm standing pretty hard by these reviews. I mean, this is pretty much how I feel about all these. Coherence is good. I didn't like it this much this time. My first time I watched it probably would have been a 4. Sometimes I just write things, man. Annihilation, blah, garbage. It's just, there's one person. What did he write? This one. A lot of bullshit in this screensaver of a movie. And it's true. Coherence. Don't look up anything about this movie. Just go watch it. This is one of those ones you go in blind. Go in blind for this one. Pretty good. Blazing Saddles. I had never seen it before this. It's basically just racist Looney Tunes. And I'm kind of okay with that. It's pretty funny. Master of Disguise. I had never seen this before. And I learned that he was in the stupid turtle costume when 9/11 happened. And that's pretty funny to me. Oh yeah, the best part was that we discovered that Silent Library, the old Spike MTV or G4 show, I'm not sure, is on Amazon. You can just watch it. So there you go. Go watch Silent Library. I watched the Star Wars again. I started watching all of them with my children. Yeah, it's the Star Wars. What do you want me to say? And then we watched Empire right after that. The rare occurrence where a film is so good it actually ruins a franchise. No one will ever be able to make a Star Wars again without it being directly compared with this movie. Slaps on every level. Only note is that maybe Luke should have succeeded a little bit. Maybe like he passes one test. He fails so much that it becomes a bit of a downer. He does just fail and fail and fail and fail. It'd be cool if he passed something, if he did like one thing right. Asteroid City. Very good movie. Yep. This was definitely my favorite Anderson since Grand Budapest Hotel. Good job, bud. Keep it up. Asteroid City was really good. Go watch it. Newest Wes Anderson. I guess not anymore, but newest Wes Anderson. Really good movie. Yep. Indiana Jones. And then I watched Dial of Destiny 2 days later. Temple of Doom rules. The characterization of Indiana is so good in this movie. It really helps him build into the next movie and show like why he is how he is in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Very good. Dial of Destiny was fine. Very passable, very serviceable. Like a good, sweet ending. Better ending than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. So, but Crystal Skull was shot 10 times better. This movie is not shot very well at all. It's bad. It does not look like a Spielberg movie at all. And it is a full hired gun job for James Mangold, because James Mangold can do way better than this. He is way better than this. James Mangold makes 4-star movies minimum. And what is this movie? Then I watched Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is fine. 2.5 stars. I edited 8 boring minutes out of this to help with the pacing, and it still felt sluggish. I was worried my kids would completely check out, so I went and edited 8 minutes out of the movie because it was just so boring. It's apparent how much Marcia Lucas was needed. Lucas, you should never have divorced her. You need her more than ever. The valleys are just so boring. The politics are cool, but there's too much. Jar Jar is fine, but there's too much. Yeah. I need to go. Alrighty. Fine. I'll finish it later.
How many do you have left?
I'm halfway through 2023. So I've done a year and a half. But this is when I start watching 10 movies a month. So 10 or more a month. All right. We'll finish it later. Boys.
Bye, boys.
See ya. How do I make it stop? My camera's gotten progressively worse looking. It looks terrible now. Yeah. All right. Where did I leave off? You watched the whole thing. So where did I leave off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I left off where?
It was an hour and 42 minutes long.
Yeah, I know. And you watched all of it twice, I think.
Oh, I started Asteroid City. Fell asleep during that.
Okay. You fell asleep during Asteroid City? Oh, yeah, you did. We're in the theater and you fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what'd you think of what you saw?
I liked it. I love West Studi.
West. No, it's not. No.
It has Scarlett Johansson in it, right?
Uh-huh.
Delightful.
Yeah. That's a good one. I believe I said it was my favorite one since Grand Budapest Hotel. True. It was. Wait, we
didn't say hi or like have an intro or anything.
We know what we're doing. We're looking through all my old movie reviews from the last year. We're doing a year-end review of all the movies I watched. There you go. You're caught up.
Now we know.
Let's see. This is going to be quieter. Scroll wheel's going to be quieter than this.
No, they want to hear that.
We watched Temple of Doom at Alex's house with his dad. That was fun. That was fun. You remember that?
Yeah.
This movie is way better. This is crazy because this movie was like one of the bad ones when I was a kid. It was like, we don't watch Temple of Doom because it's not good. We just watch Raiders and we watch Last Crusade.
That's the one with the aliens?
No, this is that's Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and that one is not great. It's still good because it's shot by Spielberg, but other than that, yeah, no, this one was like the bad one, and it's incredible. It rules. It's just as good as the other two. This one is not. Do you remember Dial of Destiny at all?
I remember the train scene at the beginning.
At the very beginning. Did you fall asleep after that?
No.
Okay.
I remember it felt like a very Indiana Jones movie, and then after that, I was like, what's going on?
I know.
That was a movie, and I wanted to watch that movie.
I did. The stopping a Nazi loot train during the fall of Nazi Germany is the Indiana Jones movie that we should have gotten in the 90s.
Yeah.
If George Lucas wasn't so obsessed with putting aliens in the movie, to where it made the franchise wait 25 years to make another movie.
Yeah.
But if they had made a movie in the 90s where Indiana had to stop a Nazi loot train,
cool.
That would have been the coolest thing. That would have been the coolest movie. That's a great idea. I'm glad it was a small sequence in this movie with a bunch of weird CG on Harrison's face.
Yeah.
But whatever. What could have been. You didn't watch this with us, but we watched episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I think I did talk about it. I remember talking about it yesterday. Yeah, I watched this with the kids. This was also my edit of The Phantom Menace. I cut 8 minutes out of the movie and it was still really boring. Here's the thing though. I gave it a 2.5. I trashed it here, but this movie is actually pretty okay. There are some sequences in this movie so good that I have a hard time believing that George Lucas directed the following 2 slog of a movie. There are sets, locations, costumes, and some actual camera work. It's a good movie. It's not a good movie, but it's pretty to look at. And it's like kind of engaging.
Oh, we already did these because remember I came in for Tar.
Oh yeah, you saw. Okay, yeah, you were like Tar. Yeah. But I didn't talk about any. I didn't talk about either of these. You must have just saw Tar and skipped to it.
Oh, maybe.
Because we watched Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Great movie.
Incredible film.
I knew the whole soundtrack before I watched the movie.
Yeah, you had heard the soundtrack for years.
Yeah, it was the only CD my dad had on road trips. That's
great, and you just had it on repeat.
Yep.
Nice.
Constant sorrow.
Yeah, I love this. Is this Coen Brothers? Who did this? Who did this movie?
George Clooney.
Who directed this movie? Coen. Okay, yeah, the Coen Brothers. Yep. Incredible. I love Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Oh, the big rock candy mountain.
Oh boy, now we get to talk about Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. This movie is incredible.
Still haven't seen it.
I know it's the next one. Rachel and I have watched them all, and this is the next one. Maybe we can watch it tonight.
No.
Okay. Why not? It's a Mission Impossible movie, and it's good. I take back that it was boring. It probably wasn't.
You're just saying that because you want me to watch it.
Well, I do want you to watch it. It is exposition heavy. They all are. Now, having watched them all again, yeah, they're all very exposition heavy. This is no different. It's so good. There's a Looney Tunes sequence that is so funny. And also, yeah, seeing back-to-back IMAX trailers for Napoleon, Oppenheimer, Dune, Killers of the Flower Moon, all in the same, and then watching this movie. Attack of the Clones is awful. I'm gonna even bump it down a half.
You're
star.
changing it.
Yeah, these are my final reviews.
Okay.
How I feel about them now at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving them my final review for the year.
I see.
And I can no longer go back and change them after this.
Okay.
Tar is insane. I probably should have just given it 5 stars,
So
but
good.
I think I'll keep it there.
So good.
It wavers between a 4.5 and a 5 for me. It's just incredible. Lydia Tar was framed. She did nothing wrong.
I can't stop yawning.
I love Tar. Go watch Tar. We talked about it yesterday. There's a ghost. Oh boy, and then we did Barbenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
We did Barbenheimer. What are your thoughts on?
We dressed up for both.
We did dress up for both. What are your thoughts?
I need to see Oppenheimer again.
Great, I'll watch it tonight.
No, because when we went to see it, my outfit was not comfortable. And so the whole movie, I was just thinking about how uncomfortable I was.
I mean,
I looked great. I looked a spot on for the theme.
Yeah.
But
good.
I couldn't focus.
Because you couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
I told her she should have just unbuttoned her pants in the theater. And
my skirt was too tight.
Yeah. But, I mean, I was wearing a full suit. It was the first time I've done that to see a movie.
So I need to go see it again. And I'm in love with Einstein.
He's pretty cute in this movie. I was high when I did this review the first time. Definitely, I actually wasn't. But like, look, I gave it a 3. I wasn't high. I gave it a 3.5 stars, like an idiot. So Jacob, Jacob yesterday was telling me how much Oppenheimer sucks and he doesn't like it. He thought it was dumb and pretentious and
Jacob.
all these things. But look, Jacob, I only gave it a 3.5 on my first watch, and all my friends gave it a 5, basically.
Jacob.
This was my feelings when I walked out. I was like, huh, it's a little. I can't really remember what. Let me look. Yeah, almost every time I rewatch a Nolan movie, it grows on me. usually the first time I watch a Nolan movie, so I'm thinking something different. Like I go in, like when I saw Tenet the first time, I was just like, I have no clue what happened. A lot of cool things happened, and it wasn't until I watched Tenet the second time that I like.
You're like that
clicked.
with every movie.
No.
Yeah.
No. But especially Nolan when he tries to play with time and editing and different perspectives and different 3 timelines and yeah. Anyway, Oppenheimer was much better the second time. Barbie was pretty good.
What does that pastor say about it?
What?
That pastor, he has a whole sermon on Barbie.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's this pastor trying to convince people not to see Barbie because I don't know.
Okay. I've never heard of it.
I liked Barbie. I cried at the end.
Yeah. Greta doesn't miss. I did appreciate that.
Greta doesn't miss.
She doesn't miss. I did appreciate that there was, and something I didn't expect was that there was also a good message for young men tied up in this movie.
Yeah. Where was?
I was expecting men to be the butt of the jokes the whole time, which I was fine with, which I would have been fine with. But I was expecting
men are butts.
I was expecting that the whole time. And
get it? See what I did?
Sure. And then it had a great message for, I mean, men were the butt of the joke for a lot of it, but it also had a good message for them. So, where's my Mabel? Quit. My dog is being weird. And then we immediately watched Lady Bird right afterwards because we didn't have our Greta fix from Barbie apparently. Loved Lady Bird.
Yeah, love Lady Bird.
Let's see. Oh, and then I guess I didn't have my Nolan fix either because I watched Tenet. And I watched Oppenheimer. And then I watched Oppenheimer again. We then started. I started watching Lord of the Rings with my son because he kept asking me over and over and over again to watch Lord of the Rings. So what a nerd, a little nerd. So we started Fellowship of the Ring. This is the best one. This one is a film through and through. This is just a movie. Like you could show anyone this movie and they would probably like it. There are weird parts of it. Like there are weird parts that like people probably wouldn't get if they didn't know anything about Lord of the Rings. But it's just a movie you could just show anybody and they would like it. I'm not sure that if you then showed them the follow-up movies that they would also like those. But they would for sure like this one. And let me tell you why Rachel's not a big Lord of the Rings fan. Is because you nerds out there, when you show your friends Lord of the Rings, you go, we gotta have a marathon. You've never seen Lord of the Rings? Oh my God, we gotta have a marathon where we sit down and we take 14 hours and we watch
the extended.
We watch all 3 extended editions back to back, and it's gonna be miserable, and everyone's gonna hate themselves by the end.
Yeah, I've done that twice, and I hated it both times.
Just if your friends haven't seen Lord of the Rings, only show them the theatrical versions first, and if they
not all on the same day.
Just watch. They're already 3.5 hours long, so just show them the theatrical versions of the films. The theatrical version of this movie is great, and even the theatrical version has dumb, slow moments that are really boring and that could have been cut out. Okay, but show them the theatrical versions first, and if they want to watch the extendeds later on, more power to them.
They will, if they want to.
And if they will if they want to. You don't have to show them all in one day and make lambdas bread and quote the movie at them the whole time you watch it.
Get mad every time they talk.
Yeah.
Every time I talked, my friends were like, I've been here for half a day. I don't.
Yeah. Nobody likes doing that. Okay. Tenet. Why is there no rating on Tenet?
Because you hated it.
What? Not going to review because I drifted in and out of sleep through most of it.
Oh my God.
That's funny. Well, I like Tenet, but I don't know what I would rate it. Good stuff. And then I came around on Oppenheimer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I linked 4.5. I linked this video.
I get it.
Come on. The second time I see it, was just me in the theater. But
it's a startling video
of
one of my favorite actors.
DeVito. It's from Always Sunny. Yeah, there are some really funny things. Yeah, at one point somebody looks at him and says, "You're the American Prometheus with the same contrivances. What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?" The book is called American Prometheus, and so.
Oh, that's funny.
But they also name drop the Cold War at JFK, like they're building towards the next Avengers movie. Nolan's comic book tendencies are coming out here. But this movie is incredible, and I can't wait to watch it again. Trey and I then watched, we did a double feature of They Live in Society and Parasite. I think this was all on the same day.
I thought I watched Parasite with you.
I did? You did.
Okay.
They Live in Society. I'd never seen these before. They Live is really fun. It just doesn't do a whole lot with its premise. The premise is, did you watch this with us? The premise is that he gets.
Oh, I was in the room.
He gets these.
I did not watch it.
He gets these sunglasses, and then when he puts them on, he
Yeah.
can see how the
yeah,
world.
I was there for this whole thing.
Yeah.
Because then I hated Society too. I hated both of these movies, so I didn't watch them. I did yoga behind the couch
Oh yeah.
because I was just I couldn't deal with these two movies.
Yeah, this one's really cool. It doesn't go far enough with its premise, I think, but it's a really cool idea. And there's a 30-minute
Society was so gross. I'm sorry.
And
I'm
then-
moving on.
and then Society is great.
Ugh.
It is the hardest a movie has ever climaxed, and the movie
Ugh.
is what?
Ugh.
Oh wow! I didn't even notice in the poster.
Ugh.
She's stretching her face off. That's a bit of a spoiler. They shouldn't put that on the poster, because the movie does not tell you what's going to happen.
Listen,
this is going to happen.
Nothing about. If I saw this, I would be like, "Oh, it's an artistic piece."
Yeah, like she's
on-
taking her mask off.
Yes,
you know,
like
whatever.
she
I don't
lives
know.
a double life. I would never think these people have these weird flesh suits that they suck on and off of their bodies.
Yeah, they
nothing.
suck each other with.
Nothing about that would lead me to what happens in this film.
Exactly. That's why I love this movie. From the beginning to literally the last 20 minutes, you have no idea what's. And then the last 20 minutes
it was
happen.
So gross.
And they all turn. Yeah, I won't say it, but it gets really gross towards the end.
Don't watch it.
Watch it.
No
It's
one-
so funny.
Don't watch it. Good Lord.
This is a good one.
But
It's a good one. Go watch Society.
no.
Really, these are a really good double
We had to
feature.
watch Parasite for me.
Yeah.
At the end because I was like, we just watched so much trash.
Yeah, they're so good. Yeah, go double feature these. They're a really good double feature. And then what am I even gonna say? Shawshank Redemption. One of the best films ever made.
Having a teenager is the best.
Yeah, it's true because then you just have an excuse to watch all these old classics.
Mhm.
So
They have to see them.
they have to see them. Without any hyperbole, this might be one of the greatest films ever made.
Yes.
It's true. What's the overall?
When we were
rating
in
on
college
Letterboxd?
and you had a Shawshank Redemption poster, I thought that was the stupidest thing. I was like, of all the films to just have a poster of, that's ridiculous.
It's this poster.
Yes.
Look how cool this
And-
poster is.
And after seeing it again as an adult with a full brain, I get it.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't still own a poster, but I get why you would.
I was ahead of the curve.
Mhm.
Yeah, really good movie. And then I watched The Two Towers, and this movie is not very good, unfortunately. It is carried by the battle at Helm's Deep at the very end, which is very good. One of the best battles ever put to screen, but half of this movie is Gandalf and the four coolest bros in Middle Earth doing the coolest bro stuff that bros have ever done. They're just going around fighting people. Gandalf's doing wizard stuff, and yeah, they're Aragorn's and Legolas and
Legolas.
and Gimli are just the four bros of Middle Earth going around killing goblins and killing orcs and having a fun time and banishing demons from
Okay, we get
King Head. They're so cool, right? And then the other 50% of this movie are four hobbits doing absolutely nothing.
I love hobbits.
They walk around and they do nothing and they argue with each other and that's the other hour and a half.
I love hobbits.
And then you get Minas Tirith, and it's cool. Or you get Helm's Deep, and it's cool. But yeah, most of this movie is extremely boring, and nothing happens. And you just keep, every time it goes to the hobbits, you are just counting the minutes till it goes back to Aragorn. And then we watched Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, and this is a pretty good movie.
I didn't see that.
I know.
This list is showing me how many movies you watch without me.
Because you always say no, or I can't go, or I don't want to. Look, this movie was good.
Okay.
This was also, the one time where I was like fully shocked of how many children were in a theater, and they wouldn't stop running.
Oh, right.
They wouldn't stop running in and out of the theater nonstop, and I was very confused.
They haven't been to one. They're little COVID babies. They didn't know how.
I know they hadn't been to a theater since they saw Rise of Gru or something in 2018, and now they're all 13. And the last time they were in a theater was when they were 8.
They were allowed to get away with a little bit more.
Yeah. And those teenagers didn't watch a frame of this movie.
Yeah.
There was about 40 teenagers that I saw this movie with, and none of them watched the movie.
Well, yeah, because going to the movies is just like, I want to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
But my mom said I can't walk around the mall.
But I wanted to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem.
Well, they wanted to talk to their friends and throw Beanie Babies around.
And get up and sprint up and down the aisles and run out of the theater and run back in.
Because they bought soda, they wanted to pee. They don't want to miss any friend time. Their friend time ends when the movie ends, so they have to run to pee.
Yeah.
And then come.
I don't know what they were doing. Anyway, I saw Meg 2: The Trench. Rachel, this is about Jason Statham fighting a megalodon. And
oh, I thought the shark's name was Megan.
No.
Or like Meg. Like I thought the name of the shark was Meg.
Meg the shark. No, it's just the Meg.
What's a megalodon?
A megalodon is a giant shark.
Like that's an actual thing that exists in the world?
It did exist, apparently.
Okay. It's like dinosaurs.
It is like dinosaurs. It was a prehistoric shark.
Okay.
The megalodon, and there's a point in this movie where he kicks the bad guy off the dock into the Meg's mouth, and he says, "See you later, chum." That's a good line, right? 1.5 stars. This was my dad weekend.
Oh, good Lord. Can we skip ahead? No,
this is my dad weekend, okay? And here we go. We'll do a rapid fire round of my dad weekend. I watched They Clone Tyrone, which was a really good John Boyega movie, and pretty funny. Didn't go as far as I wanted it to. Didn't do a whole lot with its premise, but it was still pretty good. Grave of the Fireflies is a post World War II anime. It takes place.
Are you speaking to me?
Sure.
Oh.
I'm speaking to somebody. You're the one that's the closest.
Yeah.
Because you didn't watch any of these, so.
Yeah, I'm listening now.
Okay. This was a movie. This is an anime that is during the firebombing of Tokyo.
Oh.
And these two have to escape. And
soul crushing and beautiful.
It was. Kingdom of Heaven was.
Well, you came home and told me the whole plot of this one.
Kingdom of Heaven is so good. I think I told you the plot of this one. But Kingdom of Heaven is very good. I watched the director's cut because I've heard under no circumstances should you watch the theatrical. But this is one of Ridley Scott's best movies. Very good. And then I just basically watched a bunch of dad movies too. So we got Master and Commander, which was a 5-star film. This one was incredible. This was Russell Crowe on a boat fighting the French. It was great. There was camaraderie. There was kinship. There was there was a review I liked. The Quintessential Dudes Rock movie. And then this movie, I love this one. This is a good review. This movie understands 4 things: the importance of intense male friendship in getting you through extreme adversity, the power of being really obsessed with examining turtles and flightless birds on the Galapagos Islands, how beautiful it is to witness Russell Crowe in his natural element, examining maps and plotting courses, and that the French are absolute pansies and always have been. All these things combined together alongside Peter Weir's beautiful craftsmanship. Peter Weir did Witness and Truman Show
Mm-hmm.
to create an all-time banger. It's true. There is an 1800s D's Nuts joke in this movie, though, so that's pretty sick. And then throughout the whole weekend, I watched all of Andor again.
Andor's not a movie.
It's on here. A Disney Plus Day special look is on here for some reason. It's the only way to log it. It's like a 6-minute sneak peek or whatever. Good movie. Good show. I mean, whatever. Best Star Wars that has ever been since the original trilogy. Taxi Driver. Did you watch this with me? No, I watched this with Ethan. Good movie. Martin Scorsese did a great job. Oh, that guy always does a great job.
Mm-hmm.
That dude kills it every time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Taxi Driver was a good time. Let me think. What else? Where am I at? I'm in August. Let me try to remember what this movie was. Oh yeah, this basically was beat for beat Joker. And
I remember you saying that.
And I was like, I heard Todd Phillips say that he took inspiration from Taxi Driver. I didn't know that he just copied the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was basically the Taxi Driver.
That's unfortunate.
And then Revenge of the Sith, which so desperately wants to be good and just is not. It gets like right up to the line of being good and then just takes massive steps backward. And then Return of the Jedi we watched. I love that on Letterboxd they don't have the preface Star Wars for any of these for the original. It's just the first one is Star Wars, the second one is Empire Strikes Back, the third one is Return of the Jedi because that was their original names. And then the prequels have their Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I did. The Emperor, Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor is so fun and silly, and he does such a good job. Anyway, worst of the original trilogy, but still very good. Wait, where am I? Oh, I just watched this again. Okay, I was like, this was at the top of the last page too. Rachel, what did you think of Dungeons and Dragons?
I liked it.
Honor Among Thieves.
I don't think I liked it as much as you liked it, but for what it was, I think it was done well.
That's insane. No, it's pretty good.
For being a Dungeons and Dragons movie, this is the best outcome I could have asked for.
Hey, exactly. I think so too. This is the best possible outcome for a Dungeons and Dragons movie. A perfect adventure movie.
With like touching moments and comedy and suspense.
Oh, and a big fat dragon.
Big fat dragon.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
And we watched Freedom Riders, Rachel. What do you think of Freedom Riders?
I love Freedom Riders. I didn't know my class was going to be Freedom Riders this year, but
do you tell them that no, they're tripping, and then you do a bunch of you read a bunch of Kendrick Lamar lyrics at them?
No, but they have been trying to teach me how to dab them up correctly.
Yeah, do it correctly. Well, dab me up then. Show me.
Well, you're left-handed, so this hand's never dabbed anyone up.
Big dog.
You have to, and then you slide, and then Ethan, and then I snap.
Oh, okay.
But
I said that I wish movies still had the balls to be this earnestly melodramatic.
It's not melodramatic. It's life. This is life.
Okay. And then we watched Dracula on a Boat, and this movie sucked. This movie was not good at all. Dracula does not hang dong in it, so that makes it a 2 instantly. Well, he doesn't wear clothes when he's a vampire.
I see.
And but he's just smooth like a Ken doll.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, this movie was really bad. It was just so slow. Nothing happened. Bleh. I wish you would watch Babylon with me. This is the same guy who did La La Land and Whiplash.
Was it good?
It whips ass. He made Whiplash.
What is she wearing?
She's wearing a red dress.
Barely. She's wearing a piece of fabric.
There's a meta line where Brad Pitt, someone says that Brad Pitt's a poser. He's not even Italian. You're from Shawnee. And instantly gave me whiplash because I was sitting in Shawnee, Brad Pitt's hometown. It's the first line spoken to him in the movie. And he keeps speaking to her in this Italian accent. And she said, you're not even Italian. You're from Shawnee. It's a good one.
Does Brad Pitt play himself?
No, he plays an actor in the 20s, so it's just like a meta line about him, I guess. But pretty good. Then we watched Beef.
Did I watch that?
Yeah. Beef. Remember?
Oh, the show.
The show. Yeah.
My brain is on movies.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
This is a good one.
Stop. Is there more?
No. It's just
never?
No. It ended.
I thought it was going to be about cooking, remember?
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, oh, we're going to watch a fun, like, I guess I was thinking similar to like The Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Like a show, a very dramatic show about cooking.
So
not like they have beef with each
other. Someone said that the Emmys was being swept by a show called Beef, a show about Italian beef, and then a show about family beef, Succession. Beef. Oh gosh, Beef was really good. It was
so good.
Like I wrote, it was a self-contained season of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it was never what I thought it was going to be. It was better.
Yeah,
every episode.
How to lose a guy in 10 days. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I requested it.
Oh yeah. You were the one who made me watch it. Because we were gonna watch Superbad, and then you didn't like the first 5 minutes of it, and we watched How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
It was so raunchy. I didn't like it.
Rachel, the point is that he's lashing out with inappropriate humor because he's scared about his friend leaving.
You didn't tell me that. You just said it's
funny. I had never seen it before.
You just said it's funny.
I've heard it's funny.
And I watched the first 10 minutes, and it was just inappropriate innuendo after inappropriate innuendo, and I said, never mind. Let's watch something that makes me happy. How to
Lose a Guy in 10 Days. The movie was pretty funny. I wasn't a full body cringe knot.
Oh yeah, because she tries so hard.
She tries so hard. But what did I write about Superdad? Oh yeah, a heartfelt growing up story disguised as a boner comedy. Then we watched Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl, and this movie holds up to an insane degree. This movie is incredible.
So good.
This is like I said about like Dungeons and Dragons being a perfect action or a adventure movie. This is one of the best adventure movies ever made. I don't know if anything's ever topped it.
I have like sound bites of that movie. We talked about this when we watched it.
Yeah,
like stuck in my brain.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I watched it on repeat that much, but I like as a kid, like I've definitely watched it a bunch of times, but
it just like glued itself to my brain.
Yeah, I have not only every line of dialogue memorized, but every fluctuation of voice and intonation and delivery of the dialogue memorized. Like I know and like the beat when it, like everything will happen in the movie.
Like when she gasps when they cinch the corset tighter, I knew it was coming, and I don't know, it felt like checking a box in my brain.
Then the gasp happens.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something about this movie or just maybe I watched it too much as a kid, but I have every bit of sound. And
I felt similarly about Willy Wonka when we watched it a couple weeks ago.
Every part of it is memorized in my head.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick. We watched this for boys' movie night, and we did not stop talking the entire time. This movie sent us into a feral fugue state where we just screamed and yelled and barked. And
you guys were loud.
And a friend of ours who we didn't know until the end had never seen the movie before, and we were like, "Oh, dude, you should have said something. We would have shut up and let you watch it." And he was like, "I literally understood every single thing that happened just from the visuals." He's like, "I didn't need to hear a single line of dialogue. I know what happened." We watched me and the kids watched Solo.
Me too.
Oh wow, I wrote a lot.
We and the kids.
You were there for this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You just didn't watch any of the other Star Wars with us, so
I had to run in and out of the room a lot, but I watched it.
Yes. I wrote a lot about it on the second time.
I don't need to read it.
That's why I'll read the whole thing. All I'll say is this is the only one that both of our children have requested to watch again. They have both asked me multiple times if we can watch this one again.
And you said, too bad there's too many good movies out there for you to see.
Say about that what you will. I gave it 4 stars, and if you think this movie's bad, you don't like Star Wars. I'm sorry. You just don't like it.
It's a fun adventure film.
You just don't like Star Wars.
Fun space adventure film.
Because this is Star Wars. It's right there. It's in the name. Some like it hot.
This might be my favorite movie we watched this last year.
I liked it a lot.
It was so good.
This was really funny.
Maybe it was just like the time we watched. Like I needed to watch something that funny that day, but it was just so good.
Yeah, this is a Marilyn Monroe comedy from 1959.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was really good camera work and blocking for a comedy. Fun fact: the movie's in black and white because their makeup. These two have to dress up like women the whole time, and they looked atrocious in color, so the movie had to be in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was really funny. I bought it.
Is that the oldest movie you watched this year?
I think so. I think it's the oldest movie I have watched since I've had Letterboxd again. Because when you look at my stats, this is like the furthest year on the stats list.
Yeah.
Alex made me watch Doom. Not Dune, but Doom. Doom. Based on the video game. There is a third act heel turn where The Rock is the main character the whole movie. And then in the third act, he is the bad guy. And Keith Urban is then the good guy. And it's surprisingly convincing and really good when he switches from the good guy to the bad guy. And then when he dies, he says, "But I'm the main character," or something. I can't remember. He says something like that.
Interesting he says that.
I can't remember exactly, but it's something along those lines. Like he says, like, "I'm the good guy," or "I'm the main character," or something like that. But Haunting in Venice, what do you think?
It was fine. I thought it was gonna be scarier.
I did too, but
I'm glad it wasn't, but I thought it was going to be.
This was my favorite Hercule Poirot, I think.
Yeah.
I like Murder on the Orient Express, but Death on the Nile blows chunks.
Yeah.
And then this was probably my favorite one. It was the best shot out of all of them.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I think I'm getting it confused with Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion?
I watched Haunted Mansion.
No. Haunting
Click
in
on it.
Venice. You need to look at. You see the picture.
I need to see the picture.
Okay.
I remember who all was in it.
Tina Fey.
Oh, this was better than a Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, I think so.
Worse than the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion, but
I don't
better
think so.
than the new Haunted Mansion.
I won't say that.
Yeah, it was fine. I still agree with what I said though. It wasn't. I did expect it to be scary.
It's giving cinematography.
Yeah, and I love Venice, so I love seeing Venice.
You talked, we listened. Perot is autumnal again. Pretty good one. I liked Haunting in Venice. It was the best, I think, of the Hercule Poirot movies, and I hope that Kenneth Branagh gets to just keep making them forever. I hope that he just gets to make.
I'll watch every new one.
I hope he just gets to adapt all of the Agatha Christie.
Even
Hercule
after The Nile was so bad.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I'll go see the next one.
I was still excited to see the next one. This was the one that I knew from the trailer that it was a Hercule Poirot before you did.
That's the thing to talk about is that they did a really good job with the trailer for this movie in that they played the entire trailer. It's like a 2-minute trailer as just a horror film. Looks like a period piece horror film.
I checked out
ensemble cast. And then in the last 10 seconds, Hercule Poirot shows up in the last 10 seconds of the trailer and he's like, "Lucette has been a haunting in Venice." And then I gasped in the theater.
Yeah. Big old
I went, "Oh, what?" Because I
just knew in my brain. Like the trailer started and I was like, "Oh, horror film, I don't care." And then I was like, "Oh no, wait, this is Hercule Poirot." I don't know how I knew.
Yeah.
I just knew in my bones.
Yeah. He's been he just shows up in the last 10 seconds and I gasped, and a good way to do a trailer for a series that is changing genres. Mm-hmm. It was intriguing to see the trailer be like, oh, it's a horror film, but also Hercule Poirot's in it.
Yeah.
And it also wasn't a horror film. It wasn't that scary.
No,
but
not even close to horror.
Good marketing, good trailer, good job.
The trailer gave me a jump scare. And the movie did not.
Ryan says that he's suing for copyright infringement for that Haunting in Venice quip. What? When I looked at your review, I read your review. Look, by Cinebaptist. Okay, look, I gave credit. Collateral. I need to watch this with you.
No, you skipped The Fugitive.
Oh, The Fugitive. Fugitive's really good. What did I write about it?
Did I watch this?
Yeah, I think we watched it together. I watched it with Ethan. This is the perfect, like, it had a reign. It was the king of like TNT movies, like movies that were just on cable all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it deserved it because it's phenomenal. You just catch 10-15 minutes of this at a time. Good movie. Probably like one of Harrison Ford's best up here. But
also, hi Ryan.
Hello Ryan.
I hope you and Elise are doing well, and Mabel misses you.
She does. I didn't mean to click on you, Ryan. Sorry, I clicked on your name and then okay, good. The stream's still going. Okay. Collateral is, I should have watched this. I wish I'd watched this with you because it's really good.
Take note. We're watching movies.
It's really good. Yeah. It's it is Tom Cruise as a psycho killer in LA, and Jamie Foxx is just a humble cab driver and has to drive him around, and their dynamic is really fun. Yeah, very good. War of the Worlds is the best 9/11 movie outside of Starship Troopers, which, let's see.
I didn't watch this.
You didn't watch War of the Worlds with me? I thought you did. No, I watched it just with Ethan. There's a good bit to talk about from The Fabelmans in this, though. The Fabelmans has retroactively improved every single Spielberg film. I did the Leo pointing meme when there was a half-second shot of the train crash from Greatest Show on Earth. It was intercut with all the news footage. If you watch The Fabelmans, you know about the train crash from Greatest Show on Earth. But he randomly just intercut it into the movie during the kids flipping through the channels and seeing all the alien news footage, and then flips through half-second shot of the train crash back to news footage, and I was like, huh,
caught it.
Why is Spielberg referencing that in this movie?
So smart.
Interesting. I am so smart. You're right. Joker.
I love Joker.
Listen, I
love it.
I listen.
love it.
I wanted to know. I watched it again with like a it's gonna be bad heart.
Why do you do that?
Because I watched Taxi Driver and I was like, they just copied Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, and I was like, it's gonna be bad, but it was just still good. It was still a good watch.
Do you remember we went to see it in theaters and I sat by a 10-year-old?
No.
And his grandpa.
Oh yeah.
And we sat down and I was like, this movie's rated R. And then I almost didn't get to enjoy the movie because I constantly was like, what is this child next to me going to take home with him from this movie?
We live in a society. Man, it's good that this kid wakes up early, that he went and saw Joker early so that he can wake up.
It scared me a lot. That's a really dark movie. Incredibly dark movie.
Yeah.
It's good though.
I liked it. Liked it. The worst thing this movie did is steal 1917's Oscar for Best Score.
Oh.
Because this was like when 1917 lost Best Score. I was watching the Oscars and 1917 got nominated for like 8, right? Mm-hmm. So every time it came up, they would be like 1917, and they would show the clip from the movie, and the music would play. The music from the movie would play over the clip they were showing, and I was like, well, goodness gracious, they've got the music one in the bag, original score in the bag, obviously. And then Joker won, and I can't tell you a single theme from Joker.
I don't remember any
but
of it.
1917 had one of the best scores had the best score that year, bar none.
Bar none.
I went and saw The Matrix in the theater. The first time I'd seen it in the theater ever. It was awesome. I love it. This is my favorite movie of all time. What did I write? I don't think we'll ever see a film like The Matrix again. It's true. Every 5 minutes, you're either seeing some new sci-fi concept you've never heard of before, or some beautiful allegory that is rooted in 1999 and at the same time eternally culturally relevant. Just a good movie. What did Trace said something fun about it?
Why don't you speak this eloquently to me?
Well, you be the Matrix, and then I'll talk about you this well. If you're as remotely as compelling as The Matrix novels,
Oh my god.
then give me a call. Super 8. The only thing this movie's really fun. The only thing I can say about it is I really hope J.J. Abrams goes back to making original films again and not adaptations or franchise films that he has to make in like a week. So pretty good movie. And also it is basically just Stranger Things completely ripped this off. So how do you feel about Mission Impossible? Oh, hang on, we're gonna get to Mission Impossible, Jeremy. It's down here. There it is, right here. It's right here.
We've been watching them all.
It's right down here. We're getting there.
Also, hi Trey.
Let's see.
Say hi to Trey.
What's up, Trey? So we, Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. This was a Wes Anderson that got released on just a short story that got released on Netflix.
It was good.
This is it was just a 40-minute little short story that Wes Anderson did, and it's one of my favorite things he's ever made.
Sent us on a whole thing.
What do you mean?
We watched all of them.
Oh yeah, there's like 5. This one's the longest, but yeah, this was my favorite part of my favorite Wes Anderson.
It was delightful.
And that was like
you
right
said
after
that.
it was right after Asteroid City though. Asteroid City came out, and then a couple months later this came out, and then I was like, oh well, this is my new favorite.
It is really good. It was just sweet.
Grand Budapest is not my favorite, but this is one of my favorite cities ever done. No One Will Save You. This is you didn't see this, but this is a no dialogue alien invasion movie. The main girl.
So I missed nothing.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it was a 3. The main girl doesn't talk. It's kind of fun.
Weird.
The ending is really dumb, but you didn't see The Creator with me either.
You see all the movies.
Well, look, you were invited to see all of these with me and chose not to.
We can fight about it later.
Yeah, The Creator is, I mean, it's hard. I wanted to give it less, but it's just hard because it looks so good. It's just fun to watch. It's not very original. It basically copies every good sci-fi from like Blade Runner on.
Yeah.
It's basically like Blade Runner and Akira and Westworld, and every idea from every sci-fi from like 1980 onward is just in this movie. But you don't need to be original to have fun, I guess. And it looks really good. Moonfall was one of the most fun movie I've watched this year, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Besides when we watched Top Gun that second time. This was a guy's movie night. Every 5 minutes, someone says the funniest thing anyone has ever said about the moon. There's a point where someone looks dead face and says, "The moon must survive. Everything depends on it."
I mean, it does.
The moon must survive.
All
Rachel.
the women would have random period dates.
Right.
If the moon wasn't there.
That's the one thing they didn't address in the movie, and I'm shocked because they thought of everything when they made this movie. Yeah.
The children wouldn't freak out in the schools if the moon didn't exist.
Spoiler, the moon.
The moon
is a superstructure. It's an alien superstructure, and it's got like a hollow earth inside, and there's a bunch of alien stuff inside. Pretty fun movie. And then I immediately had to watch Independence Day to cleanse my palate afterwards because this movie was so bad. But Independence Day is great. Made by the same guy, just 20 years apart.
You love this
30
movie?
years apart. I love this movie. Everyone loves this movie. The Social Network is great.
You love this movie.
The Social Network is one of the best films. It's one of my top 10. I love The Social Network so much. I wish I had watched it when it came out, because then who knows how different my life might be, you know? Okay. It's the perfect, I watched it in October because it's the perfect autumn movie. It's a good autumn. It's very fall. It's a good autumn season.
Yeah.
You should drink a blue moon and watch Social Network. And then this is what I was talking about yesterday was Twitter tried to convince me that All Quiet on the Western Front is bad. There were so many people posting about how bad it is and it's not good and blah, blah, blah.
Isn't that a book?
And yeah, it is.
It's a book old men read.
It's, it's just good. I don't know what to tell you. It's phenomenal. There's so many good scenes in this. and the message is great. So
Why did you watch the Batman,
Uh-huh.
the most noir of all noirs,
Right.
and then watch your noir?
And then Ghost Cop, the second best noir. Rachel, I was craving more. I was craving more afterwards, so I went ahead and watched Ghost Cop.
Yeah.
One of the best
Yeah.
films ever made.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've only seen Ghost Cop one time.
The one time I forced you to watch it is when
Mhm.
you've seen it. Huh?
Yeah. Like the time you premiered it.
Well, we're gonna watch it right now, live. Live react. It's guys, it's only 9 minutes. Come on, you can go watch it. Anyway, I watched the Batman again. This is my third time talking about it. I watched it 3 times.
Did you really?
I watched it 3 times.
Oh my god!
I might go watch it tonight.
No.
One of my friends are watching it tonight.
No.
Yeah, it's a rare big franchise movie. I leave and say I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad about this movie.
So good.
Is the perfect Batman film. And then I just needed more, so I watched Ghost Cop. My next film is gonna be called The Ghost Cop. Okay. We watched Dead Poet Society.
We're getting to things I care about.
Yeah, we're getting to things.
Hurry up.
We're getting to when you started watching movies with me.
Yeah.
Dead Poet Society. We showed Ethan the Autumn Vibes cinematic universe.
Yep. We were really big on vibes this October.
Yeah, we were trying to watch all the autumnal films. But yeah, we watched Dead Poet Society. That was just, I hadn't seen it in so long. I mean, I watched it in college, so I hadn't seen it in a long time. But yeah, it's just so good. It's just the whole like dark academia look is just so nice. I just love it a lot. And the way this movie, the lighting in this movie, and it just being shot on film just makes it one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. This one was a shocker. I'll wait for Rachel to come back to talk about that one, because this one was one that shocked us both. We didn't expect this movie. All right, Mission Impossible. Here we are. Mission Impossible. We started watching them again. Here's the thing. I watched Mission Impossible. I watched most of them. I think I watched like the first 4 on a plane. I watched the first 4 on a plane. I had seen Mission Impossible 2 multiple times, but I watched all 4 on a plane, and I don't remember anything. I don't remember a single thing about them. And it had been years. It had been 5 years since I did that. And didn't remember a single thing about them. And decided to start watching them again. And oh boy, is this one is very good. I loved this one. Rachel, how'd you feel about this Mission Impossible, the very first one?
It's fine.
Didn't you fall asleep and then we had to restart it or something?
I had to rewatch like the end of it or something.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I was blown away by how well this one, specifically the first one, held up. Probably just because it was directed by Brian De Palma. But yeah,
I want to go back up to Before Sunrise for just a second.
I saved it. I didn't talk about it.
Okay, good.
I didn't talk about it. I said I was going to skip to Mission Impossible until you got back. Before Sunrise, let loose.
I mean, have you ever like just hung out with 2 people that are like getting to know each other?
Yeah.
And you like listen to them get to know each other?
Yeah.
Like you're not really a part of the conversation because either you like know both of them or you just don't care enough to like get to know both of them, but you're just like a part of the conversation, and they're like, oh, so like where are you from and how many pets do you have?
What's your major?
Yeah, like all the questions. And you're like, you're not bored, but you're also like not participating in the conversation. That's how I felt about Before Sunrise. Because it's so realistic. The conversation style is so realistic that it feels like, or like if you're like listening into the couple next to you at Taco Bell, like that's what it feels like. Right. Like you're not a part of the conversation. You have no right to speak here, but you're just like listening to everything they say, and it's just like a normal conversation. Yeah. That's what this movie feels like.
Well, most people don't eavesdrop on everybody at Taco Bell, but I don't know. I get what you're saying. This felt
just everywhere else, just not Taco Bell.
This felt like I was the whole time, Rachel and I could not figure out if they were just improvising everything, or if it was written.
Yeah.
For the whole time we were like, I don't know if they just told them action and told them to go.
Mm-hmm.
And they just were like, just went and started talking about different things. But I came to the conclusion that I was like, I was like, it feels so nonchalant that I think it might be meticulously structured to feel.
And we found out it was.
To feel nonchalant. Yeah.
We found out it was.
Yeah.
Every single cue was a beat that they were supposed to hit on time, like a dance.
Yeah, like a dance. Like every like little look that they would do when they weren't supposed to, like
they're talking over each other.
Yeah,
is so perfectly placed.
Yes, so you can hear each word you're supposed to hear, that they're talking over each other at any time. Yeah, the dialogue structure of this movie is insane. I don't even know how you would start. Start doing it. Yeah. To the point where the actors got writing credits on the following 2 movies. Mm-hmm. This movie, only the director who wrote it is credited as a writer and his co-writer. And then the following 2 movies, it's the main writer and then the 2 actors are credited as writers as well.
Okay, I have 25 minutes.
Great. We watched Mission Impossible. I watched No Hard Feelings, which was fine. It was pretty funny. Not great. She suplexes a guy on the beach, which is pretty funny. And then we watched Bottom. Who did I watch Bottoms with this time? Just by myself? Who did I watch this with? Did I watch it with Trey or somebody? Oh, I think I might have showed Alex. I don't know who I showed this to. But
was it me?
Did I show you?
Click on it.
Bottoms.
Yeah, I watched that with you.
Oh yeah, I was showing it to you. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I would say that this was the best comedy in years if Bodies had just come out.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Love What's Her Face. And What's Her Face.
Both of them. These 2 are 2 of my favorite actresses right now. They're so funny. Mm-hmm. So funny. And AO has just won like 6 Emmys or 6 awards in the last month.
Good
so
for her.
Mission Impossible 2, one of the funniest movies I've ever seen in my life. This movie is so funny, just from beginning to end.
I enjoyed that one more than the first one.
Yeah, you did. And this was so Rachel was locked into this one. This is the bad one. And Rachel was like just fully engaged, locked in the whole runtime.
I like gasped.
Yeah. And I was like, Rachel, this is the bad one. I don't understand. But also it's pretty good. Like, it's even a 2.5-star Mission Impossible movie is like a 5-star John Wick movie. Like, these are just so good. And John Woo directed it, and his action direction is next level. I'm not even going to say anything about Killers of the Flower Moon. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie. It's such a, I don't know, it's stupid to say it's important, but like, it's good. It's just a good movie. It was 3.5 hours long, and I was enraptured the whole time. From beginning to end.
Yeah. Read the book first, but yeah.
Yeah. We watched X-Men with my mom because we were feeling down after watching Killers of the Flower Moon, needed an upper. So we watched X-Men. X-Men holds up. I mean, every time. Not if you show it to somebody who's never seen it before. It feels kind of corny and cheesy.
Don't care.
I feel like it's a pretty good encapsulation of the year 2000.
Oh, so good.
But there's so many things that this movie does incredibly well. Like, did you know that in the comics, Magneto's helmet doesn't block telepathy? It doesn't block Xavier at all. That was an invention for this movie.
Interesting.
That was not a thing. Magneto just wore a cool helmet. But they were like, well, we need a reason that he wears this helmet the whole movie, and so they came up with the idea that it blocks. He specifically created it to block Xavier's telepathy. That's good. And it's just such a good little detail that, like, I can't believe that it took this movie to come up with that idea.
Yeah.
I love all of the X-Men movies. We'll watch Mission Impossible 3. Yeah, this is a good one because Ethan gets his butt kicked throughout the whole movie. He falls down. He gets punched in.
This is the one where he scrapes along the side of the building.
That he's what?
He gets scraped along the side of the building.
Scraped along the side of the building. I don't know.
He has to like scale up.
Oh, he has
skyscraper?
to scale the Burj Khalifa. That's in this one.
Oh, I see.
That's in this one. Rachel will get that. Yeah, he does.
Excuse me.
This is the one where like the missile, the drone attacks the bridge, and there's the giant explosions on the bridge. And he has to like leave his wife behind at the end and all that stuff. Or no, that's this one, but whatever. I don't know. Anyway, this was great. This is J.J. Abrams. He left Lost to go make this one.
Right.
So good one. Such a good one.
So good one.
So good one. So good. Mission Impossible. I watched Scream for the first time. I had never seen Scream before, and it was surprisingly really good.
It was really good.
It was really good. It was a great movie.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Got me a couple times. A couple jump scares really got me. Has Shaggy in it.
Has Shaggy.
What else could you want?
Yeah. Yeah, and if it came out today, people would call it a Reddit movie. It's too self-referential, but whatever. Blade. We watched Blade again for Boys Movie Night, and it is one of the best films ever made. And I also watched it 4 times just in this list. I have, and because I only watch bangers. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I only watch bangers. I also, when I logged it, realized that I watched it exactly a year previous to the day. I watched it on October 29th, 2022. And my friend pointed it out to me. He was like, Jesse, did you plan this on purpose? I was like, no.
That's Blade Day.
Blade Day from now on, October 29th.
My sister's birthday. Blade Day.
Blade Day. Good. Such a good movie. Ghost Protocol. Good. Mission Impossible. Moving on. The Warriors. Warriors. This is a movie that is so, it's weird. It's like an alternate New York, and there's a bunch of gangs everywhere, but they all wear silly outfits. And yeah, anyway, it's a classic. Really good. I love The Warriors. It was just I'm glad that it's only 90 minutes. That's the best part about it. I talked about Barbarian. Go watch Barbarian. Don't read anything about it before you watch it. Just go watch it. It's the best go in blind movie I've seen recently. Heat. Heat is incredible. What did I write about it? Oh yeah, I was like, this made me go on like I think cinema peaked in the 90s. Man. Yeah, I didn't have anything to say about the movie, so I just talked about because it's just too good. It's one of those movies that's too good to talk about. You're like, yeah, everything's great. What am I going to say? Like, how am I going to add anything to this conversation? It's just too good to... What am I going to say? It's like Killers of the Flower Moon. But yeah, Heat is phenomenal. It's about bank robbers in LA. And it's about a bank robber and a police officer. And one's got to catch the other. They even the best scene in the movie is that they meet to have coffee, and the police officer talks to it's so good. Anyway, Prisoners, already talked about it. Love this movie. Perfect film.
I didn't watch it with you this time, but I also love this movie.
Yep. Perfect film. Watch Nope again, guys. Sorry. 3 times. Third time on here.
I don't know why.
You don't know why?
No.
Because it's a modern masterpiece, and it just gets better with every watch. That's why. Nope is a modern masterpiece. Also, this review by Vince is really good. Everybody go read this. Vince.
You can tag other people's...
Yeah, you just go like their reviews, and they come up down here. Vince did a really good job talking about this movie. V for Vendetta. We watched this for a boys' movie night, and it sucks. What if Morpheus was an incel? Is basically this whole movie. Just completely juiceless. It doesn't have the girth. That was something Martin Scorsese said around then. What do we see? Oh, I should have liked Josh's review, because Josh wrote a really funny review of this. Where is it? Josh Collier. Yeah. Gosh. Anyway, this movie sucks. It's just not good. He's so weird. He's too much. It's not shot very well. The action's not good. There's half of a good action scene. Anyway, saw Killers of the Flower Moon again. It was great. Rachel, we need to watch King of Comedy because this movie is really fun. This is basically if Taxi Driver is watching a man destroy his life in the saddest way possible, then King of Comedy is watching a man destroy his life in the funniest way possible. And they're kind of the opposite sides.
Did you give your own movie 1.5 stars?
I did. It's not good. As you see, I gave Ghost Cop 5 stars because it's the best. It's the best. I gave my own film, The Woods Off Slover Street, 1.5 stars. Hey, that 1 star is for you, okay? That's your performance.
Yeah, me and Mabel.
1 star's for you. That other half star's for Mabel.
Check out Woods Off Silver Street if you want to see me and Mabel act.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I gave it 1.5.
We hated it equally.
Gave it 1.5. Anyway, we should watch King of Comedy. It's very funny.
Okay.
I watched Bottoms again.
Maybe this is the time you showed it to me.
this is the time I showed Trey.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah, this one's really good. I love Bottoms so much. Let's see. Yeah, Woods Off Slover Street, 1.5 stars. That movie sucks. What did I write about it? Textbook example of not embracing your limitations. We had 3 lights and decided to shoot everything between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. Yeah, some good shots mixed in there. Music is fire. Michael Wilson did an incredible job on the music for this movie. He did such a great job. That's the only reason. Just if I could publish the soundtrack somehow, that would be worth would be worth the whole thing. All right.
I have 10 minutes.
We have 2 months left. Okay,
I have 10 minutes.
I think.
Yeah. You're in November.
Wait, December 20th. How's this? Did I log this on the wrong day? I'm confused. How is this down here?
Because it's.
But that's December. But that's just. I don't know. Anyway.
This is 11/11. Pray for your future husband.
I don't get it. Okay. Weird. Something got wronged in here. I don't know. What if I reload the page?
It wants to be there. Just let
it wants
be
to be in. Okay. Anyway, Moonrise Kingdom, delightful little Wes Anderson movie. I was surprised that he used different shot techniques in this. He used a lot of handheld camera in this, as opposed to his normal static dollying and panning and tilting. Yeah, a little bit of handheld camera in that. Yay, Moonrise Kingdom, good movie. Edward Scissorhands. Rachel, you showed me this movie. I've never seen it before.
Never seen it.
Why do you like this movie so much?
It's precious. It's a Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie? I don't remember any.
The climax is during a Christmas party.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, no one goes to their Christmas party because Edward is there?
Yeah.
And it snows.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. It's just delightful. This is also another movie that not as much as Willy Wonka and Pirates of the Caribbean, but I also was like, I remember pieces of this, specifically sounds from this movie.
He just like me for real.
Yeah, it's just precious. You thought it was really funny.
It was really funny. I gave it a 4. Guess I liked it.
Yep.
I don't remember it very much. Guess I liked it. The Killer by David Fincher. New Literally Me just dropped. Yeah, I would really like to watch this on a Blu-ray or something because all of the dark night scenes looked terrible on Netflix. I would love to see it in a theater or on a Blu-ray or something because all of it looked awful. But pretty fun movie. He kind of gets away with everything at the end. I guess that's a choice. Neon Genesis Evangelion. It took me 2 years to watch this.
Evangeline is how I read that word.
Evangelion Evangelion. This is a anime mech show.
Skip it. No one cares.
It's so sick, Rachel. It's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, this show is great. I wish that Josh Pumphrey says hi.
Hi, Josh Pumphrey.
Yeah. If you guys want to just be confused out of your mind, but also just like having your mind blown and also seeing cool, sick mech fights all the time, watch Evangelion. Watch the OG Scooby-Doo.
Where are you?
It is a time capsule.
Yeah, sweet. It's perfect. It's perfectly 2002.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't, and it's so weird. Like I wrote here, people love to say they'd never make this today, but there's literally no way a studio would make this. There's this movie would not be approved. There's no origin story, and they break up 10 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
And it's horny the whole time.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't. There's absolutely no way this would get approved.
And they showed this to me, like,
how did
I
they make
watched this on a projector in the gymnasium at least once a year in elementary school.
This is not for you. This was not to be shown in an elementary school.
I watched it in the gym.
Yeah.
When they were like, sorry, we have indoor recess for after school care.
Watch Fred and Velma body swap.
Yeah.
So funny.
Okay, pick up your pace.
Sorry. Yojimbo. It is a samurai movie by Akira Kurosawa from 1961. It is basically samurai rolls into town, has to break up two rival gangs. He just is a wandering samurai who comes into town.
I like the holdovers.
They should adapt this. They should adapt this into a Star Wars movie. It would be sick. The Holdovers.
Excellent film.
One of the best. It's the best Christmas movie.
You like Dead Poet Society? Go watch Holdovers.
Yeah, you like Good Will Hunting? Go watch The Holdovers. It's
perfect fall and winter
Christmas movie. It is going to be.
It's just Christmas.
It's going to be a staple of Christmas movies for the rest of time. So, Before Sunset,
biggest jaw dropping ending of a movie.
I looked over and Rachel's jaw was on the floor.
I gasped. And then the credits rolled. I gasped. And the credits rolled and then I gasped because I was like, the movie's just ending there.
Yeah.
So
Before Sunset, we paced ourselves with watching these. We took time between each of them.
Yeah.
And it was
watch this series.
It was a jaw-dropping ending to this movie. You just don't see it coming. You're like there's only a minute left. How is this movie supposed to end? And then it does something that you don't expect. And this is the problem with Mission Impossible is I don't remember them individually.
Yeah.
I give it a 3.5, I guess.
There's
this is where Ilsa shows up. Okay.
There's face swapping. Oh yeah, Dune Mommy.
Dune Mommy shows up. Yeah. That's right. Okay.
Wouldn't let me go see it with Napoleon.
You could have went and saw Napoleon. You chose not to see Napoleon. This Napoleon was okay.
I'm excited to see it.
It was okay. I'm excited for the director's cut.
Yeah.
I bet the director's cut will be really good.
Yeah. After Hours?
I don't care if it's 4. Why did The Holdovers get 4 stars on November 21st and 4.5 stars on December 2nd?
Let me tell you, Josh, because Jesse can't watch a movie and give it a good review the first time. Every time he watches a movie the second time, he thinks it's better than he remembered. He always says, that was better than I remembered it being. Or the pacing was better the second time. And we decided it's because the first time is just trying to anticipate the whole time.
I'm not trying to anticipate. I'll
He's
clarify.
just trying to anticipate, is this going to be a good or a bad movie? Good or bad? Good or bad? Am I having fun? Am I not having fun? And he misses some of the pacing because he's just waiting to see what the director's going to do next. And the second time, he already knows what's going to happen and he can just watch it like regular people do. And he enjoys it like regular people do.
Don't worry, guys. I'll clarify.
That's
so don't worry, everybody. I'll straighten this out. So what happens is you'll see this happen a lot. Like I did this with Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was a 3.5 when I watched it the first time. Because the jumping between all the timelines in Oppenheimer and like the perspectives and the timelines, it threw me off and I didn't know how it was going to resolve. And so I thought at first when I watched Oppenheimer the first time that maybe I wasn't a huge fan of the editing. And then the second time I watched it, like 5 minutes in, it all clicked in my head and I realized how each perspective and each timeline built into the overall story. And I gave it a 4.5 on my second review.
And he does that with every single movie.
And with The Holdovers, I felt that it was a 4-star movie. Okay. There was nothing I hated about this movie. It genuinely could probably be a 5-star movie. But there was nothing I disliked about it. It was just my enjoyment of the film was 4 out of 5 stars. And then when I watched it the second time, I appreciated it even more. And I realized that this is probably going to be a Christmas classic for the rest of time.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it half a star more. This, particularly with the holdovers, it had nothing to do with me anticipating what was going to happen. And even
Just
though
all the other times you watch
no,
movies.
only happens when I am expecting one thing out of a movie. Like, what was it? I don't even remember what I was talking about earlier. Before Sunset, maybe, where I was expecting one thing to happen,
Yeah.
and it completely flips it. Or I don't know. There was a different movie on this list that I was talking about that for, but where I'm expecting the movie to be a certain way, but based on a trailer or based on the book that I've read or whatever. But anyway,
After Hours is a movie you should only watch if you like pulling your own hair out of your head.
Rachel treats this movie like it's Uncut Gems, which is basically this movie but extremely stressful.
This movie is extremely stressful.
This movie is a 2-hour Seinfeld episode. I don't know.
It was so much.
This movie is so fun. It's another Scorsese. It's so funny.
It was good. I'm glad I watched it. I've never watched it again.
It's so fun. We need to watch Uncut Gems then, and you can tell me which one's more stressful. Or
L'Ambulance.
Ambu-LA Ants.
Yeah.
That was on the list. Yeah, After Hours is great. Shin Gojira. This was great. I watched it because I had never seen a single Godzilla movie in my life.
Yeah.
And I was going to go watch Godzilla -1, and I was like, well, I've heard Shin Godzilla is good, so I'll watch that. It was phenomenal. The movie is told in modern day Japan, and it's like how the Japanese government would react. Shay Moore says hi. It's how the modern Japanese government would react. It's really good. Shin Godzilla is great. And then we have Godzilla -1. And this is
You have 3 minutes.
the best Godzilla movie I've ever seen. And I'd only seen one previous Godzilla movie. 2 days before. But yeah.
Hi, Jay.
Godzilla
Say hi to
-1. Hello, Shay. Godzilla -1 is phenomenal. If you're just joining us, I'm reviewing all of my movie reviews from the last year, doing a year-end review of all the movies I've watched this year.
If you're thinking, geez, Jesse watches a lot of movies, maybe too many.
You would be correct.
You're right.
Would be correct. But here we go. Godzilla -1 was the best. If like in a year where so many good movies came out, there was like a dozen must-sees that came out this year, and somehow in December there were still more happening.
Yeah.
There were still more movies coming out, and then one of the best of the year, Godzilla -1, came out. If you don't like Godzilla, if you know absolutely nothing about Godzilla, you will still like this movie. This is a movie built for everyone. I don't think there's a single person who can't like this movie. Yeah. Anyway, it's so good. If you don't like Godzilla, don't worry. It's phenomenal. I watched The Holdovers again.
With your mom.
Was this to show my mom?
Yeah, we needed to show her.
No, I watched this with somebody else. Maybe this was when I showed you, because I might have watched it by myself the first time. I don't know.
You're right.
May, December, really funny. I'm not even going to talk about this one. It's a good movie. It's on Netflix. Go watch it. Based on a real story. Barry Lyndon. Barry Lyndon is the most beautiful film I've ever seen. It was 1975, Stanley Kubrick. I had never seen this before. I watched it because I saw a YouTube video that is really funny. It's an edit to 21 Savage's a lot. Good, hilarious. But this is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen in my life. Every single shot looks like a Renaissance painting. And it's really funny to boot. So
okay, I have to go.
Watch Godzilla -1 again. And I called it my favorite movie of the year.
Goodbye.
All right, I'll finish this out.
Oh, you need to make dinner.
I'll close this out. Don't worry. I'm in December. I only have 40 movies left.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
All right, love you. Godzilla -1, favorite film of the year, probably. And that's in a year that contains a dozen other of some of the best movies I've ever seen. So Dread, I had never seen this before. This came out in 2012. Everybody talked about it for 10 years, and I never watched it. And I love it. It was pretty fun. Pretty good movie. It's just a guy in a cyberpunk city shooting people, and that's the whole movie. There's not a lot of depth. There is if you read into it, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. But it's just, you can just take it at surface value, and it's a fun shoot 'em up movie. I'd also never seen, this is a funny double feature, but I'd also never seen Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 Pride and Prejudice. Oh yeah. McFadden walking out of the early morning mist in a half unbuttoned shirt might be the hardest image of all time. It's true. It's this shot right here in the movie. But yeah, this was really good. I've never read the book, but I'd never seen the movie either. And I loved this. I really want to watch it again. Also, similar to Barry Lyndon, really, really well shot, really pretty movie. Also, I watched American Graffiti, one of George Lucas's. I think this is probably George Lucas's best movie. I put it right there. Yeah, this is better than Star Wars. I'll say it. It's a better movie than Star Wars. And the first Star Wars is pretty dang good. Yeah, this is great. This is a really good movie. It's just a bunch of kids in the 1962 going to just waiting out the last night before they go to college. And man, it's so good. It's also really telling that George, in 1973, culture in the United States had changed so much from 1962 in only 11 years that George Lucas was able to make a nostalgia movie from 11 years before. That's how much like times and culture had changed in that 11 years. That's really crazy. Frances Ha is a good one. Greta Gerwig. I don't know if this is her first movie or not. I don't think so. But anyway, a coming of age movie for 30-year-olds. Pretty fun. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. See, I watched this a lot. I watched the YouTube show when I was in middle school or early high school, probably. Really funny and cute. And this movie made me cry like 3 times. This movie has just the sweetest little voice of Marcel, and something about it just gets your tears worked up. And also he has a grandmother named Grandma Connie, and I also have a Grandma Connie, and this movie made me sad. 5 stars. Watched Alien again, and it went up because this movie is so stinking good. Yeah, best set design and art direction of any sci-fi, and I think it is better than Blade Runner, which I know a lot of people think is the best art direction, set design, blah blah blah. And even with how slow it is, it holds up. You can watch it multiple times, and somehow the slow pacing still works. So I don't know why this is putting November 11th down here. I need to go check and see if this is marked correctly. But yeah, we watched. Oh yeah, it definitely isn't, because we watched this the day of the LAN party. Yeah, I didn't like it. I gave it a yeah. It's basically the exact same as the first one. It's just got Danny DeVito being a little weirdo in it, so that's fun. Where am I at in the freaking picture here? Rachel left. Here we go. I'll scoot over. Okay. Gosh, Batman Returns. Some people think that this is like the best Tim Burton movie. It's just fine. It's just okay. Like, I don't know. It's a 3-star movie that gets a half star for Danny DeVito. Batman Forever was really good. I did not expect this to be the best one of the 4 90s movies, but this was the best one. I am in utter shock and disbelief to report this is the best one. I thought this was going to be a nothing, because no one ever talks about this one. They always talk about the 2 Tim Burtons and then how funny and dumb Batman and Robin is. And this one was great. This one was really good. It's written and paced like a real movie. But yeah, don't know. That one's good. Charlie Brown Christmas, Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. Not going to talk about that. Then we watched Maestro. And there's not a lot in this movie. This movie doesn't have a lot to say. It's fun to watch. Like, if you watch it once, you'll have a good time, and you'll probably never think about it ever again. Because really, there's no theme or message, and it's just this guy went here and did these things. That's kind of the whole movie. This really cool scene where he conducts an orchestra in one long take, and it's cool. I don't know. I watched The Holdovers 4 times. Is that real? Is that real? Okay, 3 times. I watched it 3 times. Okay. I need to slow down if I watched it 4 times. Let's see. We're closing in on the end here. Adventures of Tintin. I hadn't seen this since 2011. This is really good. This is a very good animated Spielberg movie, and it's a Spielberg movie. There's some weird, like, connectiveness, and it doesn't feel like the characters there's not like a scene where like the characters sit and talk about themselves or their feelings, really. And so you don't really get to know the characters outside of their like funny quirks and quippiness. But other than that, like it's just fun. It's a fun movie. And then probably the greatest film of all time, It's a Wonderful Life. Rachel hated this movie. I wish she was still here to talk about this. Rachel hated this movie. She always talked about how sad it was. She always talked about how like just depressing, and why do people like it, and it doesn't make any sense. Turns out she had never watched it from beginning to end, and she had never fully seen the ending before. So when we watched it this time, I just turned over to her, and she has tears running down her eyes. And I was like, "Oh, is it a good movie?" And she was like, it was a really sweet movie. And I was like, I know. And now you get why everyone likes it. Quite possibly the greatest film ever made. It's just that good. I watched The Holdovers again. There you go. Little Women. I think I showed this to Trey. Yep, I showed this to Trey. This is simply the most beautiful film ever made. I think I already talked about it. I already talked about it previously, but I cried 8 times the last time I watched it. Didn't cry once this time, so I don't know what was wrong with me this time. But and then we finished the Before trilogy with Before Midnight. I know it's kind of the consensus that this is the worst one, and I kind of agree. Like, they're not good people in the first 2 movies, but they really suck in this one. They are not fun to watch. They're really mean to each other. And I get that it's like a realistic view of like a long-term relationship, but they have a major blow up where they are not nice. They kind of make you not like either of the characters. And then there is not a clear enough resolution to make me like them again. So there's that. I love the first 2 still. I would watch the first 2 on repeat, and I think you could just end it after the second one. I don't even think you need to watch this one. This was worth watching, but if you're just going to watch them, you could just end at the ending of the second one, I think. Iron Claw. And you'll see I rated it half a star higher down here because I caught more of the fun themes in this movie second time around. The feel bad movie of Christmas felt kind of like a clip show of the worst stuff in all a person's life. This movie is really good. Should I just read my other review? I really enjoyed this movie the second time. This is from January 6th, so it has a lot to say about masculinity, but this time I really was impacted by Pam and how her character displays positive femininity. This movie's really good. This movie's really good, especially on multiple watches when you get to catch all the different themes that you don't see the first time around. And Zac Efron and everybody does a really good job in this movie. Grand Budapest, final movie of the year, final movie of this 2-year review that we've done of all of the films I've watched. Grand Budapest Hotel. This was my first ever Wes Anderson movie, and I watched it over winter break in 2014. I had never seen anything like it. It's a very nostalgic movie for me. Sorry that you can hear my dogs going crazy. I don't know what their deal is. But Grand Budapest Hotel, yeah, it's a very nostalgic movie for me. I remember coming home from college after having a pretty rough freshman year at college, and I came home and watched this movie. And I was just blown away because I'd never seen anything quite like it before. But yeah, there we go. All the movies I've watched in the last 2 years. That's nuts. And I have also watched quite a few movies this year already. And by the 16th, I have watched 27 movies. So this stream might be even longer next year if that happens. Anyway, first film of January 2001, Wonka. It was fine. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching. I will be doing this again next year to review all the films I watched. All the films I watched in the previous year. And we're off to a great start, having watched a bunch of these. I'm watching so many that it's hard to remember some of them. Unfortunately, that's the trade-off. Is I love that I'm getting to watch all of these and constantly be taking in new ideas and just new things that help fuel my creativity. But also, it's hard to kind of remember some of them when you watch so many. Anyway. I hope you all have a great year and go watch some more movies, guys. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and there's a lot of things that people want to show you and teach you. And also, just go have a good time. Go have a good time. Enjoy art. Enjoy cinema. See y'all next time.